Now he's the backup in week 7 or 8 or whatever. At least it buys you some time, and he's not really expensive. I like this move. I think that's the place we're still concerned is that offensive line. Now, we're still waiting to see what Sam looks like. We're still waiting to see if Cooper Kupp can turn back the hands of time a little bit, but none of that is going to happen. Sam's not going to play good. The outside guys aren't going to be able to execute if you do not get a body down there.
I know. It's like I don't want to be an echo chamber, but I feel like that's just the most obvious area where they've needed to add. And another thing I always go back to is I wouldn't say it's a pet peeve bump, but one of the things that I hate is when you know something is a giant question mark about your team and maybe they don't address it. And then you get halfway through the season and it remains a big problem. You know what I mean? It's kind of like you tell yourself, don't leave that glass of water on the floor. You're going to knock it over, Stacy. I've done this a million times. Don't set that glass down. You're going to knock it over. And I'm like, I won't forget. And then I get up to go do something and I knock over a glass of water and then I have to take 10 minutes to clean up water.
Right.
That's how I feel about last year, the Seahawks having questions at the offensive line or linebacker, about the Mariners having infield concerns heading into this season and now finding themselves probably needing to add at a corner infield spot at the deadline. And I don't want that to be the offensive line. I want to feel like, you know what? They did what they could. Genuinely, they tried to put the best Band-Aid they possibly could. We'll see what happens, but you made an effort. You don't want that thing haunting you.
No, that's why I feel good about the Griffin signing. Like, yeah, he's, year 7, 8 in the league now. He's been here for a while. I'm not expecting him to have a Pro Bowl season, but you have that just in case. There's nothing like having a veteran there. 425 says, Scherf is washed. One, I doubt that you've watched enough film to know if he's washed or not. 2, there's nothing like having a veteran there who's been there, who's done that, and you buy yourself some time with these younger guys because they can learn from him. He wasn't the best offseason option. We know who that was.
Yeah.
He didn't pass the physical. Didn't want to take the physical. Now he's in, Indy, I believe?
No.
He came from Indy.
Vikings?
Anyway, we know what we're talking about, right? No, he wasn't the best option. No, but this is where you are at this point. And we felt like this is where the Seahawks were going to go anyway. You're going to wait until everyone is signed. You're going to wait until some veterans get cut from training camp or something like that, and you're going to get some insurance. So it's about allowing space for these young guys to grow, too. And with a guy like Scherf, if he were to come over here, you still do that because he's 33. You're not expecting him to come over and save the day. You're buying yourself some time. You have some cap space. I would like this move. I doubt they do it, but if I were them, this is something I'm looking at.
Yeah, well said. Almost every single offseason move that you're going to make at this point, especially whether it's this wave of free agency or a low-level trade, is going to be like going to a discount store and just thinking, I'm going to find the best thing here, but it's all within context of I'm not shopping at a really nice department store here. And you can still find really important additions. I'm a big thrifter.
I think it's got to change. That's what people have to do at this point. They got to change the way you look at the next move.
Yeah.
It's not going to be a move that puts you over the top. How did you get this guy? All those guys are gone. Yeah. All those guys who are franchise-changing, position-changing, room-changing type of moves. They've been signed for a while now. So let's just shift the way that we look at this next move.
Now, listen, there could be a big bad move because I have one listener texting in. You can probably already see it on the text line. I'm going to throw this your way. All the free agents, wildly talented or the best available free agents, went in the first wave. They agreed to contracts with teams via their agents during the legal tampering period. Like, this is long gone. There is one potential big move. Trading for Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what you'd have to give up. It'd be something to make you uncomfortable, and it would also be giving him a new extension. But how would you feel about that move? That move in itself, would it be worth the risk?
For what this team needs, you can look at that move and say, well, that's not necessary. I believe in this defensive line already. I believe in the box with the linebacker, edge rushers, and all of that stuff. I get all of that. But acquiring talent is the name of the game. The guys on the football field are the ones that win games for you. Yes, you got to be coached up, got to be in the right scheme. But if you have an opportunity to get Trey Hendrickson and you feel comfortable giving up whatever it is, I wouldn't be mad at that. But I'm still going to look at this offensive line and say, yeah, you still probably need a piece or two there because that's where the big question marks are. Hey, swing for the fences, man. I don't think they're going to do it, but I wouldn't be mad at that move.
Yeah, I want this defense. We've now talked with two separate people. Eric Williams of Fox Sports NFC West reporter being one of them, who said, look, I got to give the Rams the slight edge in terms of overall defense entering the season. I'd love some kind of move that would give Seattle the edge.
Uh-huh.
And until they get on the field and outperform expectations, it would have to be an addition to kind of sway people's minds in that way. I'd love to feel, with as many question marks as I have about the offense, in particular the offensive line, and for that matter, Sam Darnold, I'd love to feel really sure and really excited about the defense. That is a move that would make me feel that way. I know that Hendrickson is 30. I know that, you're not necessarily looking to be a Super Bowl contender this year, so maybe that affects people's view of how aggressive they'd want to be with a trade. He would make you a better team.
Who has to perform the best for this team to have a chance?
At being a real contender? Darnold.
Yeah. Sam Darnold, right?
Darnold.
So priority number one is making sure that he has every opportunity to do that. That's why I look at the offensive line. I think the defense is going to be fine, but if you have a chance, if you are willing to open up your wallet and pay Trey Hendrickson, no one will be mad at that move, even though you're looking at the offense saying that side has to be able to go.
On a night with the least surprising number 1 overall pick, the NBA draft still brought something unexpected. That's next.
If you haven't subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube,
it's amazing. We just got to keep hammering it home.
You're missing part of the game.
The rest is history.
There's so much more than what happens on the field.
This is the place I love.
Subscribe now for in-depth inside information with Brock and Salk.
The Mariners' hit rate was way higher than that.
Bump and Stacy.
Cal's like a coach out there.
Wyman and Bob.
One day, breaking that record would be pretty cool.
Stream it live with the local sports leader on YouTube, Seattle Sports.
Values have to be within your leadership staff, right? And then that filters down into the rest of your staff.
We are together, we are a team, and without that thought process, you're sunk.
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it.
They call it the Lee Johnson Auto family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family.
As much as I'd love to think that they trust me, yeah, our family name is trusted, but it's because of those individual interactions with our people that those folks have had over the years. That's where they build their trust with the relationship.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Bump here for the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Last month's beach party event was such a success they had too many trade-ins and now they need to liquidate. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. Shop the Got to Go used car sales event June 27th through July 6th at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and all other Hazelwood locations. Just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hazelwood has it.
Hey, baseball fans, Rick Riz here. I'm excited to introduce you to my good friend Keith Dashafy, owner of Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Keith?
Thanks, Rick. At Pella Windows and Doors, we pride ourselves on delivering top-quality windows and doors that enhance the beauty and energy efficiency of your home. Our products are built to last with innovative designs and exceptional craftsmanship. Whether you're looking to upgrade your windows or install new doors, Pella has you covered.
That's fantastic, Keith. Don't wait. Schedule your free appointment today at PellaPNW.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are in a Mariners rain delay. Seattle Times reporter Adam Jude joining us in 15 minutes. Lots to talk about when it comes to this team. Before we do, quickly a check-in on last night's NBA draft. The least surprising number one overall pick, would you say, was Cooper Flagg. Heavy Vegas odds. Also, Curtis, the second youngest player since LeBron to get drafted. Unreal. 2006. That made me feel 1,000 years old. However, the night still brought some surprises and something very unexpected. And I was asking you guys about this earlier, Bump, so I'm going to reintroduce it here. I just think it's an interesting conversation. I thought personally, and we are going to get to the Cougs here, but I thought personally maybe the most interesting storyline of the night was Ace Bailey. Out of Rutgers, getting drafted 5th overall by the Utah Jazz. Yesterday, we were talking about NFL second-round contracts, whether or not they should be fully guaranteed. Weeks leading up to the draft, we were talking about the impact of NIL deals and just kind of a changing culture from college players as they enter into the pros. The Ace Bailey conversation is like in that same vein a little bit and then mixed in with something a little bit new. Basically, the reports were that Ace Bailey, who was the only U.S.-based prospect to not do really any pre-draft visits or any kind of work, like a very weird road to the draft, also only wanted to be drafted by 3 teams.
What was it, New Orleans, Brooklyn, Miami?
Wizards,
yeah.
Wizards.
Yeah. Ace Bailey, he's a baller too, man. 6'8", 203 pounds. It's crazy. Rutgers had 2 players drafted in the top 5, man. When's the last time that happened? Couldn't tell you. But no, he wanted to control kind of where he wanted to go, and I don't blame him for that. Listen, I got nothing against Utah. Curtis has family in Utah. The cleanest city I've ever been to is Salt Lake City.
Lots
nice
of soda
out there.
shops.
But this young man coming from Rutgers, East Coast. Probably didn't want to get plopped down in Utah. No disrespect to, my Utahians out there, whatever you call yourselves. But he tried to control it, but Danny Ainge is a G. Danny Ainge was like, no, we are going to take the best player out there. And it's really a perfect spot for him because they need a star. He's a wing player. He's 6'8". He can get to the rack. He's going to fill out a little bit. He's 6'8", 203. He's going to get heavier there. He's going to be able to put up shots. It's like when it's like the Harry Ford effect, right? You can't bring up Harry Ford because he's not going to get ABs. You bring Ace Bailey to Utah, he's going to get shots. He's going to get minutes. He's going to be able to develop. And Danny Ainge, being the G that he is, also made another move and picked up my guy Walter Clayton, who was drafted by Washington, traded for him out of Florida, who is a pure shooter. That 1-2 combo, they might have just found, in my opinion, Logan Gilbert and Cal Raleigh. Like, these guys are gonna be able to be together and work together for a long time. So he might not like it now just because of the environment, which is Utah is a bit different for a young black man in Utah. I understand that, but it's about your career and development. He's gonna be able to do that there. Respect Danny Ainge for doing what he thought was best for his team and not letting this young man influence it.
And for the record, Ace Bailey was asked on draft night if he had a preferred destination. Despite all of those reports, he said, no, sir, I don't. So I do want to include that from Ace Bailey himself, he said he didn't. But there were many, many reports leading into the draft. And I thought it was interesting because exactly. And I just wanted to ask, look, I kind of hate getting on a soapbox and talking about people being entitled when, we all have our own flaws. But I couldn't help but wonder. I couldn't help but think, maybe it's because of the Caleb Williams story where, he was maybe going to be in a standoff with the Bears and take some pretty dramatic efforts to not end up in Chicago. So hearing about Ace Bailey basically being like, don't draft me if you're not one of these three teams is crazy.
Yeah, and we also did some digging in. His team isn't the most reliable as far as reputation and experience when it comes to navigating through the NBA draft process and setting this young man up for success.
Meaning his agent.
Maybe if he had a different agent or a different camp over there, they could have manipulated a bit more. But look, he gave it a go. And what I do appreciate about him is that he smiled. He shook Adam Silver's hand. He went to the press and answered the questions, didn't have an attitude, said, I can control what I can control. I'm going to show up and do my thing. So even if he tried to manipulate the system and it didn't work out, the way he handled it afterwards was like a pro. I'm telling you, man, you might get to Utah and absolutely love it. I went to Utah. I go to Utah once a year. And my first time there, I'm like, where the heck am I? And by the second time there, I'm like, I can dig this. I just wish I can get a beer on a Sunday. But other than that, it's good.
You know when something happens in the news and then it feels like every news story is about that? I can't tell if that's the effect that's happening to me when I look at stories about recently drafted players who are demanding a lot more say and advocating for themselves in a way I haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard, man. Like I said, you read the Caleb Williams story, and on the one hand, you kind of understand. You're like, well, the Bears have never had a 4,000-yard passer. That coaching staff and your offensive coordinator did end up getting fired. You were right to enter into that situation being very nervous about what it would do to your development. However, it's just new for me to hear about, right?
Yeah.
So then you have Ace Bailey. Then you have some other stuff we're talking about. I can't tell if there's recency bias here or if there is an actual cultural shift with college students, with young people, just approaching this in a slightly different way. And should we feel uncomfortable with it, or should we say, that's just the way it is now, man? Maybe they've got a point. I'm not sure how to approach it.
The thing about these, especially these first-round picks, let's go talk about the first 10.
Yeah.
All right? Like, those names have been floating around since the end of the season, and you're getting ready for the draft. So they have power. They have some influence. Now, they don't have enough to really determine where they want to go, but they're growing up in a place where you can transfer when you want to. You're getting money in college. The culture is just different. And they're more outspoken about where they want to be and how they want to get there. Whereas 10, 15 years ago, you're just happy to be in the league, happy to be there because you're growing up in a system where you really have no power. I had absolutely no power at Washington State. You tell me to be there, I'm going to be there. If I want to transfer, I got to sit out a year. So I'm stuck, right? Now they have these different options. So it doesn't surprise me that these young men and women are trying to influence where their landing spot is because that's just the culture that they've grown up in.
Yeah. All right. Well, I wanted to get to Cedric. That's also in the timeline. Should we save that? because I know that I have some sound to go along with
this here.
with the
He's got a
story.
crazy story because he started off at Willamette D3, Willamette University.
Yeah.
Transfers to Eastern, then transfers to Wazoo, and along the way, he never really has a super duper star moment or anything. But he goes 11th to Portland, and then they trade him to Memphis. Now he's teammates with another former Coug, Jalen Wells.
Yeah.
It's a pretty crazy rise that he has gone on.
I only saved you 40 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
What was your surprise level with not just his draft stock where he eventually went, but
I wasn't surprised. I mean, he had only played 6 games with the Cougs. Had a game where he dropped 38, and dropped 20, and dropped 22. When he was with Eastern Washington, he was a baller there. He didn't only play 6 games with the Cougs because of a shoulder injury. But here's the thing about basketball too, man. I'm seeing guys get drafted out of France who only average 12 points a game. It's not like football where they're looking for instant production. In basketball, they can project. So you go to these tryouts, these workouts, and you show them what you can do. And you start looking different, but wasn't surprised that he went high.
Seattle Times Mariners reporter Adam Jude joining us next.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now you have the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Values have to be within your leadership staff, right? And then that filters down into the rest of your staff.
We're together, we are a team, and without that thought process, you're sunk.
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it.
They call it the Lee Johnson Auto family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family.
As much as I love to think that they trust me, yeah, our family name is trusted, but it's because of those individual interactions with our people that those folks have had over the years. That's where they build their trust with the relationship.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
If you've ever wondered if there's something after death, Tyler Henry proves the answer is yes. Be part of his live audience readings and his jaw-dropping ability to connect with the departed at Muckleshoot Event Center, Thursday, July 10th and Friday, July 11th at 8 p.m. Experience this evening of hope and healing, bringing peace and closure to loved ones. Tyler Henry proves our loved ones never leave us. Get tickets at muckleshootcasino.com.
Muckleshoot.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to rainy Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is really pouring right now. The tarp has been on the field pretty much all morning long. We are in a rain delay, and we're going to be here for a while as the Mariners and the Minnesota Twins try to get in the final game of this 4-game series. We'll tell you more about it, but right now let's pause for station identification time. You're listening to Mariners Baseball on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
This is Mariners Baseball on Seattle Sports.
Take every game with you on the go by downloading the Seattle Sports app.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners.
Hello again, everybody. Rick Riz along with Gary Hill Jr. and Shannon Drayer. It is really coming down here in Minnesota. We've been waiting for this front to get here. It has arrived. It came here about 45 minutes ago. The fans are tucked underneath the second level here at Target Field as we get ready for baseball, hopefully a little bit later on this afternoon. When we get underway, Emerson Hancock will get the start for the Mariners. He's 3-3 on the year. Simeon Woods Richardson will get the start for Minnesota. He is 2-4 on the season. Mariners need a win this afternoon to win the 4-game series. They won the opening 2 games, Minnesota winning last night. So right now, the update from Minneapolis, Minnesota. It is raining. It's going to continue to rain for a while. We'll give you an update in about a half an hour from now. So for Gary Shannon, I'm Rick Riz saying stay tuned for Mariners Baseball.
If you need to hire, you know it takes time. Well, what if you could meet with qualified candidates the very next day? Now you can with Zip Intro from ZipRecruiter. You simply pick a time and it does all the work of finding and scheduling qualified candidates for you. Then you choose who you want to talk to and meet with great people on back-to-back video calls as soon as the next day.
Try Zip Intro for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. Zip Intro. Post jobs today. Talk to qualified candidates tomorrow.
Give me those sauces, grab the chicken strips, let's dunk them in there. There's nothing like it. Hey, I'm Joey. And I'm Josh. And we're team members at our local Chick-fil-A. And a little thing you'll love about the Chick-fil-A chicken strips is dipping them in our sauces. My sauce is the barbecue sauce. If you wanted to add sweet, tangy flavors, there's nothing like it.
I love the garden herb ranch sauce, but if you want a little bit more kick in the spicy side, you can mix it with buffalo sauce.
Dipping them in our sauces, it is perfection.
It's the summer of Chick-fil-A chicken strips and sauces. Order now on the Chick-fil-A app. Team members paid for their testimonials.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. 2025 MLB All-Star ballot is open. Cal, Julio, JP, and the crew need your help to secure a spot at this year's Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. You can vote up to 5 times per day, every day through today, June 26th at MLB.com/vote. So hurry. Also, you can now vote directly from the Seattle Sports app. So if you're already using it to listen to the show or the game, just click the vote tab in the lower right corner. Again, you can vote directly in the app. I feel like JP needs a little more love here. You know what I mean? He's a tough one because he's so good. I'm saying this after a bad game for the offense, but he's been so great and so under the radar this year. And he's one of the many names we're going to ask Seattle Times reporter Adam Jude about. He joins us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Adam, how's it going?
I'm doing great, staying dry here. I actually locked myself in a storage closet in the press box here at Target Field, just so I have my own little makeshift studio for you guys. So yeah, staying dry here.
Nice office you've set up there. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
We do obviously want to talk about Cal. We want to talk about the offense and the road trip so far. But I'm going to start with JP. We were just talking about vote getters for the All-Star game, and JP is one of those tough ones where he's not going to hit a ton of bombs. Maybe he's not going to get a ton of attention, but can be such an important piece for this team. What have you seen from him this season?
Yeah, I've been making the case, I feel like, for JP for a while. I really feel like he, 2 years ago, he had his career year in 2023. It felt like he had a pretty good case then. Shortstop is just such a challenging position because you usually have your best athletes in the game playing shortstop just because of the demands of that position defensively. You think of Bobby Witt Jr., one of the most electric athletes in the game right now. And then we're seeing this young stud, I was about to say Oakland, but from the West Sacramento A's, Jacob Wilson, what a tear he's been on. His dad was a former Mariner, Jack Wilson, back in the day. So I think Jacob Wilson, the last I checked in the last couple of days, was leading among all AL shortstops. And then you look at Houston, too. Jeremy Pena's really keeping the Astros on a hot streak there, too. So it's obviously stacked competition at shortstop as usual. So JP right now is on the outside looking in. But I agree, Stacy. He deserves a little more love, and I think he deserves a little more love just in general. He's been such a rock for so long. Obviously, a couple really unfortunate injuries for him last year, but just the way he's bounced back and really owned that leadoff spot for the Mariners, he's been such a catalyst in so many ways.
Adam, we try not to get greedy when it comes to Cal and his performances. What do you expect by the end of this year? I mean, his trajectory is crazy, right? Having one of the best years a catcher could ever have. Are you hoping that he just eclipses all those numbers and has that season, or are you okay if he falls a little short?
Yeah, it's like you said, it's just easy to kind of get carried away just with what we're seeing virtually every day from Cal. Last night was a rare 0 for 4 for him. But, for a while there, it felt like, we were going to follow him to Cooperstown with Ichiro next month. It's just like, why not? Let's get carried away with Cal. This historic stretch he's been on, hitting bombs from the right side, from the left side. We know he's the best catcher in baseball, too, defensively. And I think at what Seattle and what Mariner fans have known for a few years now, he's kind of been baseball's best kept secret, right? He's not anymore. He's getting a ton of – we're seeing him all over the national media. He's in the spotlight now. I just heard he's going to do the Dan Patrick radio show tomorrow for the first time. He was in GQ yesterday. I was giving him a hard time about that. He's not the guy you first think of as sort of a GQ guy, but that just speaks to how high his profile has risen here just in the last month or two. And it's fun to see, right? And I think the bigger story and honestly something I'm working on here for a profile on Cal leading into the All-Star game is just kind of how he's handling all this, right? He's a guy that grew up around baseball. His dad was a college baseball coach for a long time, played catcher in college. His uncle played in the Red Sox minor league system for quite a while too. So he's just grown up around the game, and he just feels like one of those superstars, those emerging superstars who's never going to lose sight of what's important. He's really grounded. We know he puts in the work every day. We know the catching and the defensive demands and working with the pitchers is what's really important to him and what he enjoys the most. Obviously hitting home runs and being an all-star and all the stuff he can do offensively is great. But I still think at the end of the day, he would tell you his most important role and what matters most to him for the Mariners is leading that pitching staff and being the catcher and being the workhorse for this team. And it's really hard to see that ever changing no matter how big he gets nationally.
It's probably not fair for us to expect that next year Cal will have 32 home runs before the All-Star break. However, I think it might be fair for us to adjust our own expectations of Cal. And Adam, I say that knowing that he's been leading catchers in home runs for 2 years entering this season. But this season has caused a lot of folks, including myself, I'm sure you, to go back and look at early write-ups on Cal Raleigh, to re-examine the way that we all viewed him as a prospect and as a young player on this team. And it's always interesting when it's like no one saw it coming. I don't know that people saw certainly not this version of Cal, but maybe not even the version of Cal we saw last year, right? Is this a version that you think it is who he is? Like he is a face of the franchise or can be a cornerstone piece kind of guy, and we all just got it wrong? Is this season a flash in the pan? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to expect anyone to compare to Ken Griffey Jr. For a sustainable stretch. So if that's what you're asking, no, probably not realistic. That said, he's in the prime of his career. He's got the security now of the long-term contract. He's got the trust. He's got the confidence. He's got the growing profile. And he's become a complete hitter, right? He's not just all or nothing, home run slugger right now. He's become a complete hitter. He's got a much better, much more mature approach with two strikes in particular. And I think that's the Edgar and Kevin Seitzer effect this year, where he's up there battling. He's not just swinging for the fences with two strikes anymore. If there's a runner in scoring position, he's doing whatever it takes. He's trying to hit the ball the other way to get that runner in. And that's reflected in, the 69 RBIs in 78 games, leading the majors in RBIs now too, which is unheard of for a catcher as well. So he's become a well-rounded player in every facet of the game. There are really no holes. You look at everything he's doing. He's doing it all. He's literally hitting for both sides of the plate. He's a two-way player with all he does defensively, his work with the pitchers, the home runs, the slug, the batting average, and then his leadership too in the clubhouse. We've seen that for a few years now too. Everyone looks up to Cal, and I think, again, we're seeing that nationally too. People jumping on, the big dumper, the nickname. He's just got so many qualities. It's kind of like that everyman quality where he's the guy you want to saddle up to at the bar and have a beer with, and he's the type of guy where it feels like he'd be open to that too with every fan as well. So there's just so many likable qualities to Cal, and again, I think Mariner fans have seen that for a few years now. Obviously, he has maybe the most iconic home run in franchise history, and now the rest of the nation is starting to catch on as well.
Just one more quick follow-up. I don't want to ruin your story, which I can't wait to read. So there's probably some stuff you don't want to disclose. But what can you tell us about maybe some of the behind-the-scenes work that he's doing? I just spoke with someone who mentioned him starting to really focus on improving from the right side even ahead of last season. Does he get in, extra work with pitchers or with Edgar? I mean, what's that look like?
Yeah, it's a great question because when you're a switch hitter, you naturally are going to get in more work from the left side, right? Because there are more right-handed pitchers in baseball, and you grow up, you're mostly hitting from the left side too, just because in youth baseball as well, you rarely see left-handed pitchers. So that's always a struggle. And I know, a year and a half ago, that was a really big focal point for him. And I think that carried over into this year too, just because he wasn't as good from the right side, in large part just because he didn't get in as many reps, didn't get in as many swings. So for him to be doing what he's doing from the right side as well, just hitting as many home runs and producing at basically the same rate at both sides of the plate, it's just been really, really impressive. But like I said, talking to his teammates, obviously Logan Gilbert and Cal have really been best friends. They were in the same 2018 draft class with the Mariners. Talk about an elite draft class, right? That you get basically two of the best players at their position in the game in the same draft for the Mariners, that 2018 class. But Logan and Cal came up through the minor league system together, and just, talking to Logan, it was a real treat just kind of hearing his perspective on what Cal is doing, but just sort of how he's still the same guy, right? He's not going to let, this sudden fame really change who he is. And I think we're seeing that too. He's comfortable, I think, in the spotlight. At the same time, he doesn't seek it out. He's not necessarily relishing, the moment. For him, he wants to win. He wants to get back in the playoffs. We saw that with his frustration, speaking out at the end of the 2023 season and wanting the team and wanting the organization to do more. And at the same time, Cal always circles it back to himself. What can I do better for myself individually, and what can I do better as a leader to sort of carry this team as well? And so, honestly, it's just hard to picture a more well-rounded player in person. And honestly, just being around him the last few years and seeing behind the scenes the work that he puts in and how much he wants it, how much it matters to him, and how much he cares. You can't be happy to see a guy succeed more than Cal Raleigh right now.
Hey, Adam, we know that the Mariners develop arms, right? That's what they do. But you bring in Edgar and Seitzer to kind of help out with the bats. And we're getting a career year out of Cal. Solano's been hot as of late, kind of cooled off for a game or two. But it's about developing the young bats down at the bottom of the order, right? You got Cole and you have Williamson. How have you seen them grow, and how much credit do you give Edgar and Seitzer?
Yeah, obviously, particularly the young guys, they're going to soak it all in, and they're going to listen to everything Edgar and Seitzer and even the veteran teammates around them have to say. And I think JP and even Dylan Moore, a job with Cole Young and kind of putting an arm around him and teaching him the ropes. And with Cole Young in particular, it's been really helpful for him. We talked to him about that this week. It's been great to have a Ben Williamson, another rookie who's going through the same thing. They can kind of lean on each other. They can share information. They're on the same page in so many different ways, and they've come up through the minor league system together the last couple of years too. So they trust each other. And again, just going through it with somebody else, basically going through the exact same thing at the exact same time, has been really helpful for both those young guys. And we're seeing it at the bottom of that lineup the other day. They both had a good game, and the Mariners won the first two games here in Minnesota. And they're certainly defensively, I think they've been everything the Mariners hoped they would be, and everything that you could really ask for among rookies kind of in their first turn through the major leagues here. Offensively, obviously it's going to be up and down just because of how challenging it is to hit at the major league level, and particularly in 2025 with pitching as good as it is in this era. That said, Cole Young has looked much more comfortable here the last 2-3 weeks. He's hitting, I think, 340 in his last 50 plate appearances. He's getting on base at a really good clip. I would suspect as he gets even more comfortable, we'll start to see some more walks as well. That was really part of his profile in the minor leagues. He's carried a high on base throughout the minors. He's just got elite bat to ball skills. Obviously, he's not the biggest kid, but with the way he holds the bat, even as a 5'10", 190-pound second baseman, the way he holds the bat, the way he's able to whip it through the zone and find barrels consistently, I do think that projects out really well long term. Again, for a team trying to make the playoffs, trying to win the AL West, I think it's fair to wonder if Cole Young and Ben Williamson are going to be the answer sort of long-term here within this season. We know the Mariners are going to be active in the trade market leading up to July 31st, and I know the corner infield spots are priorities for them, so if they can go out and get a proven third baseman and maybe push Williamson back to Tacoma to get some more seasoning, I think that's one option. At the same time, those guys are hanging in there. They're staying afloat. They're battling. They're giving the Mariners some good at-bats in the bottom of the lineup there. And I think at this point, that's really the most realistic expectation.
Hey, Adam, I agree with you on when you cover certain guys and they seem like good guys. It's not like you become a fan per se, but it's just kind of easy to root for them. It's easy to cover them and talk to them. And just as a person, you end up kind of finding that easier. Have you ever covered a guy you hated?
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, hated's a strong word, but has there ever been a guy?
Hate is a strong word.
Hate's a strong word, but maybe a guy where you were like, this guy sucks.
I've covered a lot of different sports, a lot of different teams. You run around guys that whether you rub them the wrong way or they rub you the wrong way, or just the way they carry themselves around teammates or coaches or, other support staffers, right? You can tell the people that you're like, I see that guy behind the scenes. He works his butt off. He does it the right way. Yeah. You're happy to see their success, but there's obviously always the other side of the story too. But I will say, being around the Mariners here the last 3-4 years, I know the Mariners, when they go through the amateur ranks and they go through the draft process, they're very thorough in getting a complete and thorough evaluation on these players. And the character part of it really matters to the Mariners. And I will say I think they've done a great job with that. Again, you look at a Logan Gilbert and a Cal Raleigh, for example, in that 2018 draft, just you couldn't ask for two better leaders and characters and guys you want to hold up as examples to your entire organization. And so I will say this Mariners clubhouse, 1 through 26 right now, is a lot of good dudes and dudes that put in the work. And that's just sort of a the bar that a guy like J.P. Crawford has set, and a guy like Cal Raleigh and Logan Gilbert and even Julio Rodriguez are carrying on, because the work, the consistency, and the work every day, showing up, being ready, wanting to play, wanting to win, and wanting to compete, that's first and foremost. And these guys show up every day ready to do that, and they are a bunch of good guys as well.
Love it. Filtering out the jerks, like that approach.
There you go.
Seattle Times, Adam Jude. Adam, do you know when your column's coming out on Cal?
It's getting a few different things, obviously. As with you guys, you can't talk enough about Cal Raleigh, I think, right now. We can't write enough about him. So there'll be different stuff sprinkled in for the next couple of weeks. But definitely, wanting to find new angles and rework different things. He's obviously going to be in the All-Star game for the first time. The voting is still out there. I'll be honest, it's a little confusing on how Major League Baseball has redone its All-Star voting. So Phase 2 is starting up now, where it's just going to be Cal and Alejandro Kirk, the Toronto Blue Jays catcher, are the two finalists for the starter at catching position. And so the voting will start over, I believe, on Monday morning. And then the starter will be announced then midway through next week. But I think it's safe to say that everyone agrees Cal Raleigh should be the starting catcher for the American League. And regardless, he's going to be there in some capacity. And he's going to be one of the biggest stories. He is one of the biggest stories in baseball. And he'll have a huge spotlight there when he goes back to Atlanta. It's kind of his home area, where he grew up in North Carolina, and he played a ton of travel ball growing up in the Atlanta region too. So I think he's going to have a ton of support there, no doubt.
Check out his latest at SeattleTimes.com. It's Adam Jude. Thanks, Adam.
Thanks, Adam.
Thank you, guys.
Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, why do you agree with the ranking that Pro Football Focus gave the Seahawks linebacker room?
Well, they gave them, they ranked them at 24th, and some people are going to get all in their feelings and say, why would they do that? But you got Ernest Jones, who has experience. You got Tyrese Knight, who only has 9 starts. After that, you have Drake, 37 snaps, Ross, 0 snaps, O'Connell, 0 snaps. They're special team specialists. Just use this as motivation. Yeah, I think that eventually you could be better or be ranked higher, especially when you look at Ernest and Tyrese Knight, but there's no depth over there. That's a move that I wanted them to make in the linebacker room. Grab you a veteran over there as well, but maybe they are going to develop what they have over there. So initially, I looked at the ranking and frowned, and then you break it all down. Yeah, it makes complete sense. They should have been maybe 26, 27, but 24 to start. We'll see where they finish.
Ooh, kind of a bar there, too. Look at the ranking with a frown, and then I break it all down.
Bars.
Wow. Second down. What's a stat you were surprised to see was low with K9, and what happens if he can improve it?
So I was looking at K9 yards after contact, and I was kind of disappointed with the numbers. In 2022, he had 430. That's 14th. In 2023, he had 346. That's 25th, played in 15 games. And then last year, 310, only played in 11 games. So I'm looking at 11 games and 15 games and saying, okay, well, that's probably why he's so low. So now you got to look at the average yards after contact, right? So how many yards? What's his average per attempt? Last year, 2 yards. That's 58th in the game. The year before that, 1.6. That's 82nd. And before that, 40th at 1.9 yards. In my mind, he breaks so many tackles. In my mind, he's not easy to bring down. So that's something that I think we need to see improve, especially in this scheme, this wide zone scheme where guys are going to get loose. Everyone can't be blocked, right? If you're wide zone into the right, there's going to be a back end that's going to be free, maybe a safety that walks down on the back end that's going to be free. You're going to have to make somebody miss, and everyone doesn't just fit up their blocks and dominate them. So if he can get better, if he can get around like 3 yards after contact per attempt, I think he can be elite once again. I like this scheme for him. But, yeah, he got them thick thighs and glutes and shoulders and stuff. I was really surprised that he was so low when it comes to yards after contact per attempt. But if he can stay healthy, get into his groove, I think he can improve that and be just fine.
Third down. One from the text line. This listener says, Bump, should NFL team practice squads play against other teams' practice squads and be broadcasted like in MLB?
That concept sounds dope. But there's only about 16 practice squad players per team. So it'd be tough because you got like 3 receivers, 2 defensive linemen. You're better off doing 7-on-7, but I like the concept. But here's the thing. Preseason is pretty much that. All the guys who are trying to make the practice squad, you are going to see. So, yes, the concept sounds good. There's just not enough bodies out there. So just pay attention a little closely to the preseason. You're going to see some guys fighting for their lives. You're going to see some great performances, some poor performances. Everything's highlighted. When I see a receiver drop a football on third down during preseason, I go, dang, man, that might be it for him. When I see a guy make a play on a punt return and break one for 30, 35, I think to myself, man, he might have just made that squad. So, yes, the concept sounds good, but there just aren't enough practice squad players. That's what we have preseason for.
4th down. What's something you really enjoyed seeing Mike Macdonald do during OTAs and minicamp?
I seen him do it a couple times. When things weren't going the way he wanted to, he stopped practice, turned the music off, offense on me, defense on me. Let's talk about this and let's get right. It took me back to my high school and college days. There were days where we started practice all over. We're out there for 30, 40 minutes, and we were not doing what we're supposed to do. The intensity wasn't there. The focus wasn't there. And our coaches would start practice over. You can look at Mike Macdonald doing that and to yourself think, oh, man, that's a high school, college move. Nah, I like that. It's accountability. Listen, you guys, we got to turn it up right here. You have to practice with the right tempo, but take care of each other. I love that about him, and I think the more comfortable he gets, the more likely he's going to do things like that. But you do it now so you don't have to do it later, right? If you're doing that week 8, 9, 10, then something ain't right. You do it now and set the tone. I love seeing him do it.
All right, still to come. We've got Hype Train coming up at 11:45. Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill is joining us. Yes, as you can tell by hearing our voices, the Mariners game is still in a rain delay. We're going to be checking in regularly. That includes when Gary joins us at noon. Before we get to that, we have our first official Home Run Derby participant. We'll tell you who it is next.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now you have the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills, maybe.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines, and I was able to sleep through the night, and that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions. 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Values have to be within your leadership staff, right? And then that filters down into the rest of your staff.
We are together, we are a team, and without that thought process, you're sunk.
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it.
They call it the Lee Johnson Auto family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family.
As much as I'd love to think that they trust me, yeah, our family name is trusted, but it's because of those individual interactions with our people that those folks have had over the years. That's where they build their trust with the relationship.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Well, welcome back once again to rainy Minnesota. The tarp is on the field. We are in rain delay here. Gary Hill with you alongside Rick Riz, Shannon Drayer here. We're awaiting the Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. M's looking for a series win against Minnesota. We'll have to wait a while longer. The tarp is on the field. It is raining. We'll continue to update you at the top and bottom of every hour as we hope to get underway shortly. We are hoping for the best, but as we're here right now, the rain continues to fall. So we'll continue and send you back to rain delay programming.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Walking away from an interaction with a customer that says, I can't believe how easy this was. I can't thank you enough for helping me.
Our strategy with pricing is not to be the highest price and not to be the lowest price, but to be a really good price and to provide a really good experience to the customer.
Yeah, I have a ton of really memorable customers. Afterwards, to thank us, he sent us this beautiful basket of like candies and fruits and stuff. It was just really sweet. It, really like, it felt like we were truly helping.
Receiving a handwritten letter that's personalized to a salesperson or a service advisor or a technician expressing gratitude, and then taking that home and sharing that with your family and hanging that on your refrigerator, that's the difference.
You hear it from one person, and then another, and another. You come to realize it's not a script, it's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline. I'll start with the story that I teased, just so that we can pay up on that. We have our first official home run derby participant. I know you guys are waiting to hear Cal Raleigh's name. It is not Cal Raleigh. It is, though, Atlanta Braves star Ronald Acuna Jr. Congrats.
Nice.
Yeah, not surprising, given it's in Atlanta. Do you know Braves players never won the home run derby?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Who's been in it? That's been a Brave, though.
He's been in it 2 times prior.
I feel like Fred McGriff was probably in it. Chipper Jones.
Was Freeman ever in it when he was with Atlanta?
I think he was, yeah.
I'm just surprised with how prolific they have been that they haven't had a winner. But there are probably some other surprising teams in there that have never had a home run derby winner. Either way, Ronald Acuna Jr., the first official home run derby participant, which also means to me, Bump, that we're going to start hearing some of these names come out hopefully soon, July 14th, the date of the actual derby itself. Yes, Cal Raleigh has told multiple outlets, whether it's Shannon Drayer, Buster Olney, he was on Pardon My Take. He's told all of them that he will absolutely do the derby if he's invited.
He's going to be invited.
Why wouldn't he be invited?
For sure. As far as the Braves, in 93, David Justice. 94, Fred McGriff. 97, Chipper Jones. Chipper Jones again in 98. Chipper Jones again in 2000. Andrew Jones. I remember Andrew Jones. Gary Sheffield. So, yeah, Freddie Freeman. Dang, they've had some guys in that thing. I haven't brought home the hardware yet.
I want to look at teams that have never had a home run derby winner. Google AI. Matt, you got mad at me yesterday for looking at this, but has Royals, Giants, and Rockies. Wait, no, I'm sorry. The Giants?
Barry Bonds didn't do it a lot. He was kind of above the event.
Yeah.
He's like, my home runs are for games that matter.
That's like LeBron not doing a slam dunk contest. It's like, I ain't doing that.
Wow. Okay, let's get to our next story in the timeline. ESPN NBA draft analyst host Malika Andrews had a funny slip up when introducing Wazoo's Cedric Coward.
So the Portland Trailblazers select Colin Coward here. This is a young man with the ultimate bet on yourself.
I think she can be forgiven. I mispronounce things all the time.
The Herd? Colin Coward.
Coward. Cedric. Colin. I see it.
Yeah, I can see it.
I can see it. I've messed up before.
It happens all the time.
All the time.
I was listening to something the other day on ESPN and someone slipped up and I just mumbled to myself the correct answer.
Mhm.
You know, there's the thing that gets me is when people treat individuals like they're just incompetent because they have a slip up and jack up a word. I'm like, Malika Andrews says 100,000 words a day. She's going to make a mistake. I saw it on Twitter, someone getting at her. I go, relax, dude.
Yeah, I saw this.
You know what the heck she's talking about.
I saw this guy being like, the most important thing. And on the one hand, I understand, especially when you have a soft spot for any Washington State athletes, when you're like, okay, look, this is the biggest moment of your life thus far. It's this really exciting thing. It's so honorable. It's so huge. You want that moment to be special. I get it. That being said, it happens. And for any like journalism student, I saw journalism, clearly a fresh out of journalism classes student who was complaining about like her mispronouncing it. And I'm like, listen, when you're more than a year into that job, you're going to realize how often you've done it. Like I will look up, I'll do it all the time. Not all the time. I shouldn't say that. But the one thing I'll say is that you have a shorter leash as a woman for sure. I cannot tell you the amount of hosts, of analysts that I've heard that have said things wrong and no one bats an eye. They just kind of move forward because you get the benefit of the doubt. It's like, oh, he clearly slipped up.
I'm sure I wasn't watching when all this went down, but I'm pretty sure she came back and corrected it and made everything right. I do understand people being a bit frustrated with it because it's Wazoo, it's a small school underdog, right? You want to get that moment right, but mistakes happen, man. We're human. Mistakes happen, and she's a pro. If you've watched Malika Andrews over the last 4 years, you understand that this lady is a pro.
Do you remember yesterday or maybe the day before when we talked about Pablo Torre, and Pablo Torre finds out that he and Mike Florio looked into a collusion case against the NFL. The NFL ended up winning, but there was some clear collusion on the part of the league. In an interview with Dan Le Batard, Pablo Torre says the NFL is now monitoring his media appearances in the wake of that story.
I would say that as the NFL is monitoring my media appearances, which they are, I just like that they had to listen to that as well.
Which they are.
Look, this, Dan, I just need to stress that this is a document that neither the league nor the owners nor the union wanted out. Like, they fought extremely hard.
Uh-oh, Pablo.
Good job, Pablo. Yeah, they didn't want it out because it makes them look bad. But in the end of the day, the ruling was that each team is this individual business, so they can share whatever information they want. And if you read and read up on this whole thing, essentially what they're doing is thanking each other for not going crazy with the guaranteed money when it comes to quarterbacks. But yeah, of course they don't want that out because it looks like you're trying to short the most important part of your franchise, which is the quarterback. So, Pablo, go ahead. Hold these guys accountable. NFL, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah.
Pablo, keep doing your thing.
Yeah, what are they really going to do?
Yeah.
Other than just kind of make him feel like they're angry.
Yeah.
But also there's this bit of like, it's an interesting story and an important story and something people, I'm using the word deserved loosely, but in a way kind of deserve to know.
Yeah,
and
they do.
Both sides covering it up is only in their interest. It's not in the interest of fans. It's not in the interest of other players. It's in J.C. Tretter's interest and in the league's interest to make sure the story didn't get out. That's it.
Listen, if the owners felt like they were in the right, they wouldn't have any issue with this being released and the public finding out because it paints them in a horrible light. They didn't want it. I'm going to respond to 360. He says, or she. Let's stop saying he's from WSU. That man is an E. Guess what? He left y'all and came to WSU and got drafted out of WSU. All right? He's ours. You can have a little bit of him. He played more games there, but he left y'all and came to us, okay? And we don't, usually they leave us and go somewhere else.
So let them have that.
So let us have Colin Cowherd, okay?
I mean, you guys literally do have Colin Cowherd, who was an Eag, so you can claim him. Next story here in the timeline. What's one of the first things you would do after getting drafted? New Orleans Pelicans first-round pick Derek Queen made sure the first thing he did, I love this so much, was update his LinkedIn profile.
That boy.
Yeah. You would think it would be, maybe you go get a car, you go out with friends, you go party. Maybe he's going to do all those things. But first things first, he posted to his LinkedIn profile, I'm happy to share, I'm starting a new position as a professional basketball player at New Orleans Pelicans. Can't wait to touch down in New Orleans and meet the fans. And then changed his experience on his resume. I love it.
That's a pro right there. You guys, look, I got to let the industry know that I'm taking, and I'm starting a new career. Now, that's fun. I wonder, was it a joke? You know what I mean? Like, that can't be the first thing you actually do.
I don't think so. He's subscribed to the LinkedIn like Gold or whatever because he's got that little marker by his name, which means he's paying for the premium services.
I think it's very, very serious. It's like how Doug Baldwin had one where it was like, this is an actual LinkedIn that someone's using. We're just part of the experience as professional athlete. Yeah.
Hey, do your thing, brother.
You know?
Do your thing.
Next and last story in the timeline. A day after you were complaining about one of your kids using your card to get some stuff for video games, I fear that Jacob Wilson, A's shortstop, is only adding fuel to the fire. In a new feature for ESPN by Jeff Passan, who interviewed Jacob Wilson, the A's shortstop credits, as part of his success, Fortnite. He said, Jacob, kids are going to love this one. Parents are going to hate me, but I'm a big believer in video games. It's fast decision-making strategy. I think it gets me ready for the game because when you're in the box, you have to process a lot. So there are some days when I'll wake up and I'll play video games. I'll go on the field and I'll have a good day. Then some days I don't play and I don't see the ball well. I think it really helps me train. Listen.
Whatever works for you.
Listen.
Whatever works.
He kind of makes a case.
Kinda. You're not seeing the spin of a baseball playing Fortnite. I get the quick decision making. I mean, have you seen builders? Maybe Matt, you can relate to this. People who can build in Fortnite, how quickly their hands move, it's crazy to me. I didn't know humans possess that skill.
It's truly insane.
It's nuts.
I love video games. I'm terrible at them. I could never do that.
Yeah, I can't build for nothing.
I don't know why I thought Fortnite, I'm sounding lame, but I'm just not a gamer at all. I don't know why I thought it was like a dance game. Don't they dance?
Well, when they celebrate and dance, yeah.
Is that where the dances come from that people do?
Yeah, a lot of them, yeah. Some of them. Or then sometimes Fortnite will take some of the popular dances and put it in the game.
So do your little characters dance? Like, where's the dancing? I thought it was all a dancing game.
Nah. After you win, you can dance, or you can just push a button and they're going to start dancing.
So is this like Sims Roller Coaster Tycoon or something? Like, what are you building in Fortnite?
Stacy, you would actually love Fortnite because you get to like kill digital people. Like that's
okay.
That's your
First
thing.
of all, you're misrepresenting what I said yesterday. I said that sometimes for narrative purposes, I would kill my Sims.
I think if anything,
I didn't kill every sim I ever created, and I didn't take pleasure in it. It was just part of the story that I was telling.
I think if anything, I'm underplaying what you told us yesterday.
Hype train coming your way next.
Blue 88 on Brock and Salk.
The NFL basically now on hiatus. What do players, coaches, what does everybody do now?
But this is like, okay, we've been back at it, the majority of the guys, since mid-March, early March. You ramp it all the way up, and then now we got to just put it back in the freezer for 5 weeks. We didn't do all this work for the last 3 months for you to go spend a month drinking Busch Lights and getting away from everything.
Every day at 7:45, answering 3 football questions as only Brock Heward can.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night. And that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising! After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same, and that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Do you know a woman who gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Stacy Rost here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman today at WOISeattle.org. That's WOISeattle.org.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Hey, are aches, injuries, or everyday pain slowing you down? Well, it is time to move better, feel stronger, and get back to doing what you love. IRG Physical and Hand Therapy is now accepting new patients, and no referral is needed. Their expert team offers personalized hands-on care to help you recover faster and stay pain-free longer. Shannon, what is it like to see new patients walk through your doors?
Brock, it's wonderful. You know why? It's because it's an opportunity for us at IRG to make a difference in someone's lives. It's so important that when people come in, they experience engagement, coaching, teaching. We build relationships with our patients, and we want to make it easy. We all know that healthcare has a lot of what I call minutia in it. We have a concierge call center. When you call, we're going to check your authorization, verification, certification, justification. We're going to find out everything we need to know about your insurance, and we're going to make it easy for you because we want you focusing on getting better.
And all you got to do is head over to irgpt.com to find the clinic nearest you, irgpt.com.
Are you trying to buy a new home, or are you a local real estate agent seeking financing for a client? We're all tired of dealing with banks, credit unions, and endless guidelines. Wouldn't it be nice to go back in time when we had common sense lending? Hi, I'm Scott Rureka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital based in Bellevue. We are one of the largest local private portfolio lenders in Washington. We've helped thousands of home buyers and real estate investors reach their financial goals by leveraging the Legacy Common Sense borrowing platform. What that means is we lend our own money, we make our own decisions. If your deal makes sense, we'll get it done. Whether you're purchasing a new piece of real estate or refinancing an existing loan, bridge loans, construction, or regular home loan, it doesn't have to be as difficult as banks and lenders make it. If you're trying to grow wealth through real estate acquisition, come talk to the experts in private lending.
Call 425-635-4700 or LegacyG.com. Legacy Group Capital, your common sense lender. LegacyG.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The 2025 MLB All-Star Ballot is open, and Cal, Julio, JP, and the crew need your help to secure a spot at this year's Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. You can vote up to 5 times per day every day through today, June 26th at MLB.com/vote. Also, you can vote directly from the Seattle Sports app. So if that's how you're listening to today's show, or if you just got it on your phone, open it up, click the vote tab in the lower right corner. Right now, let's head to the station for Hype Train. Cal Raleigh. Maybe he didn't have a great day yesterday, but this guy's on fire. Topping now MLB.com's top power hitters in baseball after hitting not 4, not 5, 6 home runs in 7 days. Holy cow. Cal Raleigh is baseball's first half MVP.
Ooh, let's get it. So you know you're going to look at Cal, right? I mean, not Cal, Aaron Judge. What about Aaron Judge? Hey, home runs, Cal got him 32 to 28. Now, his average is better. We understand that. Good for you there, Aaron Judge. Let's talk about RBIs. Guess what? Cal's got him 69 to 63. Strikeouts, guess what? Cal has four less than Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
Not a bum. Aaron Judge, face of the game, one of the faces of the game.
Dip, send him back. Send
also,
him down.
where does Cal play baseball? In the worst ballpark known to man when it comes to hitting bombs out there. Where does Aaron Judge play? At Disneyland, New York. All right, so it's Cal all day. First half MVP. Let's get it.
Cal Raleigh is MLB's first half MVP. Bump is boarding that train. Curtis, are you?
Yeah, we're boarding that train. Oh, wait. I'm already speaking for you.
Please don't speak for me.
My bad.
Matt.
Here, I'll just. There we go. There's the real horn. But yeah, he's the first half MVP, and you mentioned the ballpark factor, Bump. He's just catching every single day, too. He is squatting down, receiving every single pitch that this team is throwing, basically. In fact, Aaron Judge has DH'd more days than Cal Raleigh this season. So take that into consideration, too. Cal Raleigh is the first half MVP of baseball.
Okay, Matt, now we can do all aboard. I'm also boarding this train. I'm sure Matt would, too. I think that I don't want to repeat too many of the points you guys made. I'll focus a little bit on Curtis's about the DH time. I think the one case people make, not only against catchers in general, but why catchers don't put up these numbers is they just don't play as much as your everyday right fielder. That's not the case for Cal Raleigh. He has appeared in all but one game for the Mariners, and that includes another scheduled off day he had where he still pinch hit. Oh, and by the way, drove in 2 runners.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's going to be my first half MVP. Here's the thing. If you're a Yankees fan or maybe even a fan outside of Seattle, you'd probably say we were being homers right now, but you can bet that WFAN in New York or any New York station would have all 3 people on their show saying that Aaron Judge is the first half MVP because of course, that's how you're going to see it. We see Cal every day, and he's MVP to us, but for some really good, rational baseball reasons as well. Next up. Cooper Flagg, number 1 overall pick in last night's NBA draft. No surprise there at all. Here's the hype train. Cooper Flagg will be Rookie of the Year.
Cooper Flagg, he might have to run the point, honestly, when he starts, because Kyrie's not going to be available. He's coming off his ACL. You still got AD over there. He's going to have the ball in his hands often. The only guy that I think can challenge him is Ace Bailey. I think Ace Bailey has a lot of potential. But, yeah, it's going to be Cooper Flagg, man. He's going to start. He's going to contribute. He's going to have the ball in his hand. He is going to be the go-getter on that team. So, you know what? I'm on it. But it's going to be close because Ace Bailey is for real.
I will say, Christian in the 206 says, no, I'm not on board this one. I got Ace Bailey.
He's nice.
Okay, Bump is technically boarding, though has a close second. Curtis, are you boarding? Cooper Flagg will be Rookie of the Year.
I'm looking at the odds right now. It is runaway odds for Cooper Flagg to be Rookie of the Year. Trey Johnson has second best, Ace Bailey third. Dylan Harper went 2 overall to the Spurs 4th. And then VJ Edgecombe with the Sixers, who went number 3rd. He went 3rd overall. He's 5th in the Rookie of the Year odds. I think it's Cooper Flagg. There's just no need to complicate things. He is a generational prospect, and usually when those guys can't miss, in the NBA especially, they don't miss. And he is just so ridiculously talented. I think he is going to win Rookie of the Year pretty easily.
Sure.
Sure.
Why not? I will say sometimes our predictions aren't right. Marvin Harrison Jr. was an overall overwhelming favorite to win Rookie of the Year. Obviously didn't do that. So, look, sometimes we miss a mark. Happens all the time. But I'll just go with Vegas on this one and say sure.
The NBA, though, is a little more
clear-cut.
Yeah, than the NFL.
Next hype train into the station. We're currently in a rain delay. There is rainy conditions, a storm coming in downtown Minneapolis, where this game is scheduled to be played between the Mariners and Twins. Easy hype train for our finale here. The Mariners-Twins game will be played today.
Yeah, well, I've been watching. I become a weatherman when weather affects our shows.
Oh, yeah.
I dive deep into this. And it looks like around maybe 3 o'clock, there's a chance that they play this game. And I think I heard Curtis say that the Twins said that they're willing to just wait this thing out and get this game done.
We've got an anthem standoff here.
Go ahead and play this game. They're going to play.
All right. The Mariners-Twins game will be played today. Bump is boarding. Curtis, are you? Storm in Minnesota. Not the Seattle Storm.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they playing the Lynx?
No. A real rainstorm.
I think this game gets in, so I'm boarding it. At what point do you pull the plug on it, though? I mean, we're only, 2 hours removed from what first pitch was originally scheduled at. The Mariners have to hop on a flight at some point tonight to get to Dallas, because that's where they're playing tomorrow. You're running up against the clock here. You got to get this game in, but I think they will.
Well, I don't know. I'm not boarding. Just something different.
Wow.
We've had...
Wow.
We've had 2 all aboards. I'll just spice it up a little and say that I've looked at the forecast, and it doesn't look like it's really clear until 7, 8, 9.
In Minneapolis?
In Minneapolis.
That's late.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that's happening. I think we see a makeup game scheduled.
Well, I went to school for meteorology. And
no, you didn't.
What?
No, he didn't. That's not true. All right. Well, speaking of the Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill joins us next. Don't go anywhere.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the Big Dumpers, Big Run, Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. Are they a reliable service? How will I know if something happens? Are they keeping everyone safe? At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit bayalarm.com today to talk to a local security expert.
Summer is here, and now is the time to break through those weight loss frustrations. Hey, it's Dr. Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, and we have a proven system that can help you lose weight and get healthy. No drugs, no side effects, no calorie counting, no exercise. Just teaching you the simple steps to become a fat-burning machine and keep it off long term. Remove the stress of trying to do this on your own and picture being down 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days with our help. At Eastside Weight Loss Clinic, we know the secret for fast and lasting weight loss using real healthy foods and lifestyle changes. Schedule your free consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Yeah, look your best this summer. Even with a busy schedule and vacation, the Eastside Weight Loss Clinic plan isn't going to cause much disruption. Don't wait or put it off because you're busy. Lose weight during this summer and watch that transformation really happen for you.
Join the thousands of people who've lost 20 to 30 pounds or more in just 60 days. You can do our program in person in Kirkland or all remotely. Schedule your free phone consultation online at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-474-1867. 800-474-1867. Again, that's 800-474-1867.
Welcome back to rainy Minneapolis. Gary Hill back with you alongside Rick Riz. As the rain continues to fall here in Minnesota, the tarp on the field, we're still hoping for the best and hoping we get this in at some point. The Mariners and the Twins, the finale of this 4-game series as the Mariners look for a series win. But not much has changed as the rain continues to fall. Let's pause for station identification on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
This is Mariners Baseball on Seattle Sports.
Take every game with you on the go by downloading the Seattle Sports app.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners.
So we are in rain delay. The rain is falling. We're hoping for the best, and we'll continue to update you as we continue here from Minnesota. We'll send you back to rain delay programming.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle. And plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip today. Go to Community Transit at ctgo.org/homerun.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Mariners Twins series finale officially in a rain delay. Conditions in Minneapolis don't look like they're gonna improve, so we'll be on air with you here and let you know if the game is ultimately canceled or rescheduled. In a surprise to no one, Duke's Cooper Flagg was selected first overall by the Dallas Mavericks in last night's NBA draft. Also in a surprise to no one, Cal Raleigh is now number 1 in MLB's power hitter rankings after hitting 6 home runs in 7 games.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline, it's Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill. Gary, we're going to do a quick weather check-in. What's it looking like there for this series finale?
It's looking bad currently.
Oh, no.
It's raining. The tarp is on. I will say, I really think that this game is going to get played at some point, even if we have to sit here for a while longer, because there's a lot of motivation for this game to be played. Like, it would be better from the Mariners' perspective to wait this out and play tonight as opposed to coming back. Like, there's, for an example, there's a date when the Mariners play Cleveland in August, an off day where you could fly here, play a game, then go to Cleveland, which is not a great option. So we're all already here, even if we have to wait a few hours and play. Like, that's better than the alternative. So I do think there is motivation to make this thing happen, and I do think it will at some point. When that will be, I have no idea.
Hopefully within the next half an hour, Gary. That'd be great. But
well, I heard you're the weather guy, so you should know exactly, right, when this is happening.
Yeah, when I was growing up, I used to walk outside my door and stick my arm out and just feel the temperature.
In LA, still sunny.
That's what we're doing today.
Yes, nice.
Man, let's talk some baseball. Kirby with another solid start last night, and we opened up our show because we react to everything. And the question was, are we panicking over the performance last night? I said no. I go, you don't put up, 30-something runs in the last 3 or 4 games and take that one loss and start to panic. How did you guys take it? How is the team taking it?
Oh, I agree with that 100%. Joe Ryan's a really good pitcher. In fact, he has a lot of similarities to Wu, especially with his fastball. So if you think about how much, Wu befuddles teams and makes teams look like the Mariners look like that against Ryan last night, like, that's a good way to think about it, because Wu's great and Ryan's really good too. And in fact, the scary thing about the Twins is when you are trailing and they get to their back 3, who are all really good, it's usually lights out. The problem that the Twins have had recently is outside of Ryan, their starting pitching has not been very good, but it all lined up for them perfectly yesterday. That was going to be the toughest matchup of the series. So I'm not I don't read anything into last night. I just thought Ryan pitched really well, and the back 3 guys have big arms, and they were great. So that was last night. I think winning a 4-game series on the road is really hard against anyone, but I think the Mariners have put themselves in really good position to do it today. Like, the matchup is really good on paper, especially because those back arms I've been talking about, there's a good chance that 2 or 3 of them are down for Minnesota, because 2 of them have pitched, they've all pitched in back-to-back days, and 2 of them 3 of the past 4. So that really hurts Minnesota's cause. The Mariners, I think, have a chance to get back to some fireworks offensively. The conditions are going to be weird. Like, I don't know if they're going to be playing in drizzle through the whole thing. Like, there's that kind of sideshow aspect, so we'll see how it plays out. But I think they have a good chance to take the series tonight. And given a series win in Chicago, following that up with a series win in Minnesota would be excellent. I mean, that's a great start to this trip.
Cal Raleigh making plenty of national headlines, doing a ton of interviews, given that his name firmly in the race for AL MVP, a race that we thought would just be dominated by Aaron Judge from start to finish. Aaron Judge is still an overwhelming favorite, and we'll see what happens at the end point in the season. But if the season were to end today, Gary, would you say that Cal is the first half MVP?
Ooh, that is a great question. I think you're right. I think
cheap. We did a whole segment on this, Gary.
Shut up.
Don't give her that.
Shut up. Go look at the weather.
What should I have said? That
just get right into it. Yeah, that was all right, Stacy.
You're incorrect.
But never mind.
That's fine.
What do you think, Gary?
I think it's a really good debate right now because the thing is, Judge's first half has been ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the fact that I think Cal has really closed the gap here in the first half, which is amazing. But, I look at Judge's on base is 461, which is absurd, especially with the power he brings. I mean, the combo of what he's doing is literally an all-time first half. And the fact that Cal is in this MVP conversation is really a nod to the kind of first half that Cal has had, because we are talking about one of the greatest first halves a catcher has ever had, one of the greatest first halves a switch hitter has ever had, one of the greatest first halves a Mariner has ever had. I mean, it's truly historic what Cal is doing. Unfortunately, he's doing it in a season where Judge has been pretty historic as well. It's been an absurd first half for Judge. So it's definitely a 1-2 debate. I don't think there's any question about it. Now, what I think is the part of this that I think makes it really interesting is the catcher part, right? Because that's what makes this totally unique. Because we're not comparing a right fielder to a center fielder or another right fielder or a shortstop. Like, this kind of season doesn't happen from a catcher. And there are things we can measure defensively that Cal does and does really well. We all know that, won the Platinum Glove last year. And there's also a lot of things that go into every game that we can't measure, like his game calling and things like that we know is great. And we talk to the pitchers that he works with and everything. So all that goes into the pot as well in terms of the debate. I just think it's amazing he's there in the conversation. I really do, because Judge has been incredible. And I just feel like Cal has slowly closed this gap as we end the first half. And I'm really anxious to see what these next few weeks look like. Like, I don't know. I keep wondering where Cal is going to end up in terms of home runs. It's absurd. He's at 32 right now. I have no idea what the final number is going to be. Because at some point, I've said twice already this season, like, well, Cal's not going to hit double-digit homers again next month, and he's done it for 3 straight months.
Mm-hmm.
So
same. It's okay. Solidarity.
Yeah.
Gary, what you mentioned all these factors when it comes to Cal and why he should be in the mix or possibly be ahead, depending on how you look at him. But what do these voters actually take into consideration? Is it simply the numbers? Is it all the X factors that you put out there? How do they determine who wins this thing?
I think every voter is a little different. I think new school voters are probably looking at more like WAR, WRC plus, things like that. I think more old school are probably looking at the batting average, home runs, RBIs. I think the voting pool is a mix, and it's a little different every year. So it's always kind of hard to nail down exactly what that looks like and what voters will take into account. It is unique because we don't see a lot of catchers, especially now. We haven't seen a lot of catchers in the mix for an MVP. So a lot of things that make catchers unique as opposed to any other position, those kind of things haven't had to be factored in lately. It's funny, we're in Minnesota, Mauer won an MVP, but that was a while ago now. So it's not something that's come up a lot. And this year has been so unique for Cal. It's a great question and something to think about. I don't know what that's going to look like.
Do you like that? There's different styles when it comes to voting, or do you feel like there should be a set checklist? Like, okay, let's all be on the same page. Do you like that people have their own style?
I mean, a set checklist is probably too far. I think we are in a much better spot than we used to because there have been so many MVP votes through the years that have just been bad. And let me just use a local example. Edgar Martinez. If you look at the year he had in 95, which was an all-time great season, and Mo Vaughn won the MVP that year, right? And I think Edgar had an on-base percentage over 100 points higher than Vaughn. And if you just look at everything everything Edgar did offensively compared to Vaughn, and Bell for that matter too, he could have been the MVP. Like, it was vastly superior to him. And it was just a bad vote. And through the years, there's been bad votes. I think we know more now and can better evaluate players now than we used to. So I don't feel like we get votes like that. I think there are controversial ones. A handful of years ago, Kluber got the MVP over Felix, and I think you could make the case that Felix should have gotten it that year. So there are things that happen like that, but I don't feel like we get the bad votes that we used to. So I don't think a checklist is necessary. I think we're in a much better spot than we used to be. But there always, I think, is going to be some unknowns going into votes.
I know we all have our own idea of like what a day-to-day job for a catcher looks like. Have you talked to Cal about his, though? And Gary, I ask because staying in this same vein of how much him being a catcher should weigh into it, he had an interview with Mookie Betts that I rewatched. It was from a year ago. And Mookie asked him, like, when do you think about your own ABs? And he was like, well, I guess you could do it between innings because you kind of do a disservice to the pitcher. Like, it's almost like it's the only position where you can't be your priority, the pitcher that you're working with that day, and the bullpen guy has to be your priority, and you do a disservice to them if you're in any way distracted or not in the moment. And I was thinking, man, I didn't even think about the idea of you don't really get to think about yourself or ruminate on an AB until like a commercial break. So what can you tell us about the day-to-day of what Cal's dealing with, or have you asked him about that?
Yeah, that's 100% right. And there's a reason why when you look traditionally, year after year after year, the catcher / line in baseball is the absolute worst position offensively. And there's a reason for that, because that oftentimes is not the priority. And the things that you just talked about are the priority for a catcher. It's working with the pitcher. It's getting through a game. It's trying to elevate the pitcher you're working with. All things that Cal is great at. And it is funny when you talk to him, especially on a first day of a series, for example, because, there's hitter meetings that he's in. There's pitcher meetings he's in. He's meeting with the pitchers before the game. His time is pulled in so many different directions. And I'll layer something on top of that, too. Not only is he thinking about at bats, he's a guy that bats from both sides of the plate as well. He has to deal with not one swing, but two swings on top of that. So I don't think, for the most part, there's enough time in the day for him, as someone who also plays every single day, by the way, and catches a ton. All those things that we don't necessarily think about all the time when we watch them on the field mashing homers and catching, but there is definitely something to all the time spent and all the preparation before the game that is mostly spent on other people. And he does take time for himself, obviously, with work on a swing and things like that, but he spends a lot of time making it happen for the pitching staff. I think it's a great point.
Last one I got for you, Gary. Your favorite thing to do during rain delays? Are you like a puzzle guy? You take notes?
No,
what are you doing?
This is a great question. Well, I mostly like to make fun of Aaron. I would do that right now, but he left. He can't go an hour and a half without eating something. Oh, he just walked in. He's got holding the biggest hot dog I've ever seen that he went down to. I mean, he just can't help himself. I think my one delay, my favorite delay is we found at one point the mascot closet.
Stop.
And so I found a bear's head, and I walked around with a bear's head for a while. That was good.
Let me just say this.
Shannon out of nowhere.
Shannon!
It wasn't we, it was Gary. He did this on his own. We had been sitting up on the media level for probably about 2 hours at that time in Anaheim. Miserable, it was hot, couldn't, no air conditioning, couldn't get anywhere, bored out of our minds. And the next thing you know, this guy comes walking through the door with just a giant bear head on.
I love
and it was, if you think about the Cal Bear mascots, it was like that. They have
that was it.
Yeah, it was. I think that may have actually been it, but you found all sorts of fun stuff back there.
So that's what delays are about. It's when you're in a big stadium like this, you have to find the places in the stadium you're not supposed to be in, and then take stuff from that area.
Yeah.
I like that.
It makes sense.
Theft.
Wheel a chair
Theft is a
out.
good thing to do.
Yeah, take all the pens you find. I like the idea of the Mariners broadcast crew. Just all of you in front of your mics, just quick. Yeah, I'd like to say one other thing about Gary, kind of the things he does.
Yes.
just to chime in here. We hear Aaron just put the glizzy down.
I
Just
mean-
one more thing.
Honestly, we're all here doing nothing, so yeah.
Okay, last question before we let you go. It's actually a repeat of my first, but for the Mariners fans that have just joined in the last couple minutes, you do expect this game, hopefully, to be played today?
Yes, I am optimistic that at some point today that this game will be played between the Mariners and the Twins.
All right.
Yeah.
He is Mariners broadcaster Gary Hill.
I think you two should keep going until the game is played.
Gary,
I'm supposed
I think it'd be so fun.
I'm supposed to be out of here, Gary.
That's violence.
That'd be so great. You know, 6 hours from now when we start the game, you've done like 10 hours of radio. It'd be so
Bye, Gary. Bye.
fun. I'll come back next hour. I'll be here.
Bye. Unfortunately for Gary, he will be there. Hopefully, though, the Mariners are actually playing. I know we just heard from Shannon. We're going to hear from her again coming up in less than 15 minutes. Right now, let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Seahawks have signed veteran corner Shaquille Griffin to a one-year deal. What's the real headline?
It's honestly kind of cute watching John and Pete go after the same players. You know what I mean?
Didn't Griffin take a trip to Vegas too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did take a trip. So
They both paid their punter.
John won this one.
Uh-huh.
But Pete's like, I got your quarterback though.
Yeah.
You know, so they're going back and forth. But I like this move. It's not a move that is going to wow anybody and move the needle that much. But you bring a veteran here, a veteran who's had a couple stops, understands what it's like to be a pro, and will provide some competition. You got Nehemiah Pritchard, who's still going to compete. You got Josh Jobe as well. We know Spoon's going to hold down the nickel. Reek on the other side. I like this move, man. Again, like we said earlier about possibly adding an offensive lineman, there's no move that's just going to flip you out unless whoever gets Trey Hendrickson. That's the only move where people are going to be like, oh, my God, I can't believe this happened. Now it's about just filling some voids and making sure that you're solid all the way around.
You know how you lied to us and said that you majored in weather or meteorology at Wazoo? Willem in Maple Valley says, Bump and Stacy, I hate to be a Debbie Downer, but there's no way the Mariners are playing today. He sent a screenshot and said there's a huge cell just floating and circling upon the city of Minneapolis. And I thought, wow, Willem is throwing out cell. Like, I feel like our weather vocab needs to take a step forward. You know what I mean?
Well, you know, that's like when I'm talking football. If I want to make someone feel like they don't know what I'm talking about, I can do that. But me, I'm a man of the people.
Meteorology reports.
My meteorology is real simple.
Thank you for dumbing it down.
Clouds are moving from the east to the north, swiping across downtown.
Okay.
And it looks like around 3, 4 o'clock you might be able to play.
Okay. What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number two, Mavs GM Nico Harrison says he hopes some of the public backlash towards him will subside after Dallas' selection of Cooper Flagg at number 1 overall. What's the real headline?
Taking credit for the literal landing of a ping pong ball is pretty wild.
Now, if Nico would have came out and said, "Don't worry, guys, we're gonna get the number 1 pick," okay, then he can have this claim. But nah, Nico, you just got lucky, or the NBA made sure that you could walk downtown safely and not have to worry about people. I wonder if Nico even goes out to restaurants anymore. He's got to lay low for a little bit. Gotta wait till this pick kind of makes everything a bit better. But there's no way he's been walking around downtown Dallas just with no worries.
He's definitely getting yelled at by some people. I think as sports fans, all of us, excluding Matt, we are sports fans, right? And so we would recognize someone, but we kind of forget that, like, there's a huge chunk of the population that don't pay attention at all.
I'd say 1 out of every 12 people downtown know who Nico is.
Really?
And he's like 6'7".
Okay.
He's going to grab eyes real quick.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, John Schneider can walk through a crowd and people will miss him because he's like the average sized man. But a dude like
I'd
Nico
recognize
Harris,
him.
Yeah, because
I
we
see
work
those
with him.
khakis, those flip flops.
See his glasses.
He's got a great head of hair. It's very curly.
Yeah.
I'd recognize him.
The beard.
Yeah.
But we work for him.
The thing about Nico Harrison going out to eat in public places is that the last time we saw him go out to eat in a public place,
Curtis.
that was when he was putting the trade together that sent Luka Doncic to L.A. There was that picture of him and Rob Pelinka at was it an L.A. area Starbucks? Yeah, you can't have any privacy anymore.
Have you guys ever taken credit for anything that you definitely didn't do intentionally?
I'm sure I have.
I'm thinking of some of those like great catches that we see where it's like,
You know what I feel like?
you didn't think you'd do that.
I do it all the time, and I tell NASA this. Like, he sends us so much information for Seahawks games.
Okay.
I'm spitting stuff out. I'm like, man, I got a heck of a producer. Because he gives us way too much information, and I take it, but I always thank him afterwards. I think he goes, no, man, that's why I do it. But yeah, every Sunday I'm taking someone else's work for sure.
Curtis, for you? Or maybe anything with like friends or family or like Brenna or anything where they're like, wow, that was amazing. And you're like,
it's one of those things where like somebody says a quiet joke and then you repeat it a little bit louder. And then they're like, ha, that was great. It's like, yeah, I'm pretty funny. And then you look at the person who said it and they're like, what the heck, man?
Ooh, you know what one of mine just happened today is for Hype Train, either Curtis or Matt had written down Cal Raleigh's first half MVP. And that was my first question to Gary. And Gary said, great question.
Either Curtis or Matt. Who do you think wrote that?
You write good hype trains.
No.
Yes.
I write joke hype trains because I want to annoy people.
Okay. Well, I took Curtis's hype train, turned it into a question, and got a good question from Gary.
Yeah, I tried to take it from him too. Like, man, don't give her that.
Yeah.
Don't give her that.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, the 22-year-old White Sox fan who taunted Ketel Marte about his mom who passed away in 2017 has been banned by Major League Baseball from every stadium. What's the real headline?
The league clearly didn't consider an alternate punishment, just forcing him to attend White Sox and Rockies games.
Look at it. I want you to look at it.
Sit here and watch.
Let the boy watch.
Yeah. God, wearing a Bears uniform jersey is
his name out? Because I feel like this is going to affect like his life after this, like going to get a job or something like that.
As a messy, curious person who lives online, I've been searching for it. I've been trying to see if it pops up. There are clear videos of him, but no one's identified him. Which, like, we shouldn't be doxing people. So,
yeah. He made a mistake. It was dumb, but he can learn from this and do better.
All right. We're going to stick with Mariners here. Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Talking about the Mariners plan for the trade deadline. You think people are reticent to the minor leagues and trade some prospects? I know fans develop a connection to names they hear over and over. Often you don't see these guys. I don't know how many people are making trips out to Everett or out to Tacoma to watch the young guys, but there just aren't any sure things.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Overburdened with a bunch of stuff you don't want anymore, but feel bad throwing it away? John here with Happy Hauler, Seattle's eco-friendly junk removal. We prioritize donating and recycling. We'll help get your items to those in need instead of going to the landfill. At Happy Hauler, we pride ourselves on responsibility, community, and sustainability. We're a family-run small business that provides junk removal, donations, and recycling. Make yourself, your community, and the planet happy. It's time to reclaim your space. HappyHauler.com, hauling with a heart.
Smoked paprika in your go-to goulash? That's go-go goulash. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway, an alternate route that'll help manage congestion and provide better access to SeaTac. Open soon, free through summer.
Get 0% financing for 72 months on Cat compact construction equipment at NC Machinery. Built for performance, durability, and comfort. Buy now and take advantage of 0% financing for 72 months at NC Machinery.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with XFi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors, manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. This is the window you want. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and these windows last up to 60 years. They're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And this June, buy 3 windows and get 1 free, plus an additional $200 off your entire project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in the Puget Sound. Call 8-333-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Get rid of stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin with ProSculpt, the simple one-day permanent fat reduction and skin tightening treatment. Book your free consultation at prosculpt.com.
Well, welcome back once again to rainy Minnesota. The tarp is on the field. We are in rain delay here. Gary Hill with you alongside Rick Riz, Shannon Drayer here. We're awaiting the Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. M's looking for a series win against Minnesota. We'll have to wait a while longer. The tarp is on the field. It is raining. We'll continue to update you at the top and bottom of every hour as we hope to get underway shortly. We are hoping for the best, but as we're here right now, the rain continues to fall. So we'll continue and send you back to rain delay programming.
Hey, Brock Ewart here with some great news. I'm with Shannon O'Kelly, physical therapist and owner of IRG Physical and Hand Therapy. Shannon, you guys just increased your community coverage.
That's right, Brock. We like to say we're in your neighborhood. We have you covered here at IRG. We just added 2 fantastic locations. One is in Harbor Square in the Edmonds Bowl, and the other one is in the Mill Creek Town Center, right to the entrance to Mill Creek Town Center. So we'll be able to provide fantastic care to all of us and everybody's neighborhood.
You know I love it. Expert physical and hand therapy right in your neighborhood.
That's right. We're in your neighborhood. We want to be your neighborhood family physical therapist. We'll take care of you, your family, and your neighbor.
And remember, no referral needed, just personalized care when and where you need it. Visit irgpt.com and schedule your appointment today. With over 40 convenient locations, IRG is right in your neighborhood, and now 2 new spots as well. That's irgpt.com, irgpt.com.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
The 2025 MLB All-Star Ballot is open, and Cal, Julio, JP, and the crew need your help to secure a spot at this year's Midsummer Classic in Atlanta. You can vote up to 5 times per day every day through today, June 26th at MLB.com/vote. Also, you can vote directly from the Seattle Sports app. It's just in the lower right-hand corner, the Vote tab. Mariners insider Shannon Drayer joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Shannon, it feels like we were just talking to you. How's it going?
Sorry, I could not let that leave.
It was so
It
funny.
was just an absolutely ridiculous moment.
No,
I'm
really
okay. There's some parks you would not want to have to spend any time, any extra time in, let alone under hot or rainy conditions or something like that. This one's okay.
Oh, good. Well,
this one's actually really good. I'll go ahead and say that.
I'm going to start with a question about Cal. It's the least surprising thing ever, but it's also there's so much to talk about when it comes to his season. I will say I texted you about him the other day, and we had an interview with Jordan Schusterman, and we were talking about Cal's improvement from the right side. And I just wanted to know, when did that start? Is this something he did this offseason? And I appreciated the insight with your answer because what I should have been considering is how long Cal's been working on the improvements that have led to a big part of the season we're seeing this year. So what do you know about Cal getting work in and focus hitting from the right side?
That was actually a focus of his last offseason, not this past last one, but the one before going into 24. And I think what we're seeing right now, the more that I think we're all looking at each other and trying to find the answers. And so often the answers are really obvious. You just go to the numbers and the underneath numbers and things like that. And you don't really see too much with Cal. But I think with him, and it's funny because he'll talk about it and you'll just kind of go, oh, that's kind of the cheesy answer on that. But it kind of is true. He has talked about this past off season just really kind of figuring out who he was as a hitter and making a commitment to that. And I think that that's actually what the numbers are pointing to with him. He has been squaring up the fastball at an alarming rate. And I think with his eye, he's looking for that fastball. He's not satisfied with much less at that point. He's putting the ball in the air a lot more. And so I really think that he is kind of just really leaning into who he is. Now, at the same time, he has developed, and it hasn't happened in the last 3 months. It hasn't happened in the last year. It hasn't happened in the last 2 years. But, along the line, hitters keep learning. And I think that is something that we are seeing from him. And I think it is continuing to come together for him. And the routines that he has had, he's gotten bigger and stronger in the right ways. And the other routines he has in balancing what he does, because he is always going to be a defense-first catcher. That is his first priority. He is absolutely passionate about it. It is the most important thing that he does. But as he does that more year to year to year to year, he can spend a little bit less time on it because he has the knowledge. He can read the swings. He knows the league. He knows his pitchers. He's seen just about everything now that you can expect somebody to see in the game. So perhaps that frees up a little bit of time and a little bit of bandwidth for his offensive side as well. He also, I think, what really should come into play with what he is doing is his smarts. You are not going to find a much smarter baseball player on the field. One of the things that I have found most interesting in this month of June, he has seen a lot fewer pitches than he normally has. He's been very aggressive in counts. He's got 12 first pitch home runs this season. And to me, to see it flip from May to June the way it did, and with a lot of success, his strikeout rate in the month of June has gone way down. That just, to me, kind of speaks to his plan, to him understanding what pitchers are doing to him now, because everybody makes adjustments, and he's making his adjustments very quickly. So I really just think, as you pointed out, Stacy, it's a whole process. It's not one thing that happened in one off season. I think it is kind of a culmination and a continuation of what he has done and what he has been doing for a long time.
Hey, Shannon, the greats are always working on something, right? They could be at the top of their game, but they're going to find something that they want to lock in on and get better at. Is there something you've heard Cal talk about that he wants to get better at, or something that you've noticed that he could sharpen up a bit?
Not so much. I think he is planning. I mean, it was pretty well documented 2 off seasons ago. He went to work on the pitch framing, and seeking out the best pitch framer that he could find in the game and kind of studying along with him. And then he ended up taking the gold glove from him, so that wasn't very nice. But I think with him, I don't think there is anything as specific. I've asked, was there a specific, thing that you were trying to kind of along those sidelines in last off season, And he just really pointed to, again, leaning into who he was and understanding who he was as a hitter. And I think that when he's kind of doing something different, there's always going to be adjustments at the plate, but there's a big difference between adjustments and changes. And he is trying to stay stubborn to the plan that he has set for himself. And why not? Because clearly it has worked. You need only look at April and May, and now as it's continuing. And so when I look at him and kind of talk to him and get from him when I ask him about it, it's about maintaining and continuing to improve what he's doing right now.
So kind of that's how he's going to have to respond to the question I have for you. But what kind of obstacles, kind of related to Bump's question, will he be facing in the second half? Like, you obviously know this game well, and you know the kind of trials and tribulations that players can face as the season progresses, particularly as we get into the dog days of summer. For him specifically, whether it's being a catcher, whether it's just who he is as a hitter, what's he going to have to face?
Well, the biggest thing with him will be what it always is in health. And it doesn't just mean, you see him on the field, he's healthy. That doesn't mean anything with him. He will fight to stay out there as long as he can. And as we famously know, in 22, he played with a thumb that was barely hanging on. He basically was almost detached from his hand. And it was a matter of how much pain can you play with, and he has shown that he can do that. With catchers, it is hard. It takes a bigger toll on the body than any other position on the field. But one of the things that comes into his favor, and it is something that played into his decision with signing long-term with the Mariners, is that we have much cooler summers than most places where there are baseball teams. And that is something that will, without question, help him out going forward. But And I think that this is probably a good thing. I don't think he is as stubborn about playing every day as we think he is. He had his first day off on the last homestand and kind of joked with him about, hey, I was beginning to think maybe you had it written into the contract that you didn't have to take any days off. And he kind of made it clear that wasn't, that wasn't his thinking and isn't his thinking. I think he does appreciate the day off here and there. And so I think they'll take care to make sure that he gets that when he needs that. But I think just health wearing down, and I don't think it's going to be a matter of, I think, we've seen him withstand adjustments that have already been made. He's not somebody that, the pressure's not going to get to him if they're in some sort of a playoff crunch or anything like that. In fact, it really could go in the opposite direction. If we get a second half Julio like we've had before, you've got a very, very tough middle of the lineup. That might make things a little bit easier at some point with Cal. And it also will probably, and we'll see it probably a little bit more as the season goes on, it's going to get hurt a little bit in the home run department because guys aren't going to pitch to him in those situations if the game is on the line.
She is Mariners insider Shannon Drayer. This game currently in a rain delay, so follow Shannon at Shannon Drayer on X.com for updates. We're watching to see if that tarp comes off the field. Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks, Shannon.
You got it.
All right, coming up next, Aaron Rodgers explains a big reason why he chose to sign with the Steelers. Plus, one rookie quarterback is at least being honest about what type of season he's expecting from his new team.
If you haven't subscribed to Seattle Sports on YouTube,
it's amazing. We just got to keep hammering it home.
You're missing part of the game.
The rest is history.
There's so much more than what happens on the field.
This is the place I love.
Subscribe now for in-depth inside information with Brock and Salk.
The Mariners' hit rate was way higher than that.
Bump and Stacy.
Cal's like a coach out there.
Wyman and Bob.
One day, breaking that record would be pretty cool.
Stream it live with the local sports leader on YouTube, Seattle Sports.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret? AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Progressive knows there are some surprisingly expensive things in life, like frames. Because you found a classic 70s concert poster. But when you went to get it framed, you realized the frame will cost about 4 times the amount of the poster. Which is actually absurd because no one will be looking at the frame, and if they are, then you severely overestimated how cool this poster is. But then you remember by switching your home and auto to Progressive, you could save hundreds and put it towards a classic 70s concert poster in an absurdly overpriced frame. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
Do you know a woman that gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Maura Dooley here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Was drafted in 1999 by the Philadelphia 76ers, and that was just absolutely a dream come true.
Todd's playing in the NBA is unique. His battle with neuropathy is not.
I first started noticing problems a couple years into my NBA career, and I felt like my sock was just balled up right in the arch of my foot, and there'd be areas of burning and tingling, and then there'd be other areas of deadness where there would be no response to touch. We tried everything possible, from surgery to different drugs, to try and take care of some of the symptoms.
I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist at Sound Pain Solutions. Our neuropathy treatments can rehabilitate damaged nerves. We use FDA-cleared, non-surgical, non-drug, pain-free procedures that have helped thousands of neuropathy sufferers find relief.
Now I'm able to spend more time doing the things that I enjoy, being on my feet.
If you experience numbness, shooting, or burning pains, or loss of balance, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025, or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Are you worried about economic conditions, tariffs, and inflation? Are you tired of trying to time the stock market? Maybe it's time to take a little risk off the table given current market volatility. For stability, there's no better option than Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, a fixed return of 9%. Hi, I'm Scott Rurucka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. We've been running local real estate investment funds for over 18 years with 0 investor losses, averaging double-digit returns since inception, and we also accept IRAs. Over 1,000 local investors have invested over $250 million in our Legacy family of funds. Feeling uneasy? Don't gamble your hard-earned money or risk your retirement. Legacy Group's Northwest Fund, returning 9%, has limited openings for new investors right now.
Call 425-635-4700 or visit LegacyG.com. That's LegacyG.com. This is not investment advice. Legacy investments available to accredited investors only. Details at LegacyG.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Taking a look around the NFL, we are going to start now in Pittsburgh, kind of. It's on the Pat McAfee Show. This is part of that interview Aaron Rodgers did a while ago. What was one big reason why he signed with the Steelers? That would be former Seahawk DK Metcalf.
DK is a lead by example guy, and he's a big reason that I'm in Pittsburgh as well. Conversations that we had, and just the kind of person that he is. And it started here. I didn't really know DK at all, and he's like, I work out at 6 a.m. every day. I'm like, okay, already. This guy has discipline. This guy has a drive. I said, how about 8 o'clock? Because I have to drive from Malibu to UCLA. He said, yeah, that's fine. So he's not just a specimen, but he's a really solid human being. Like he is a solid dude, and he leads by example. The way he practices, and that's I think one of the most encouraging things is the room goes how the top dog goes. And when DK catches the ball and finishes 60 yards to the end zone, it makes everybody else want to do the same thing.
I know that not every single Seahawks fan feels the same way about DK Metcalf, the way that some players are just universally loved. But I'm rooting for him in Pittsburgh. I really am.
I am too. And this is cute. This is really cute.
Cute.
Oh, DK, man, he's such a good guy. Wakes up at 6 o'clock. And week 5, when y'all getting smacked, all right, when he drops the ball, you throw it over his head, and y'all on the same page, that's what I want to see out this relationship is. It's all cute right now. It's lovey-dovey.
Yeah, look at him.
I'm driving from Malibu.
Yeah.
8 o'clock. Can we compromise? Sounds good. DK, I wish you the best. Aaron, wish you the best. Holla at me week 6 or 7 when you're getting smacked.
This reminds me of every reality show I watch when the two people who meet first and they become best friends, like that's going to be the fight.
Yeah.
Like those two that are like, oh my God, I love you too. And it's like, you guys just met each other.
Yeah.
We both have the same favorite color. You're getting in the first fight.
Exactly.
You guys haven't watched Bad
Wish them the
Girls
best
Club.
though. But there's always a moment where that friendship is tested and is going to be tested, and I want to see how each side responds.
How soon will it be tested?
So week 6, 7. Hold on, let me look at the schedule real quick.
Yeah, I know. I should have pulled it up because I'm kind of curious now. I'm like, when
Let
is
me see.
the first very difficult game on their schedule?
So
where
they
it's like,
go-
you might not be in this
They
one.
go Jets, Seahawks, Patriots, Vikings maybe, Browns, Bengals, Packers, Colts. They got a soft schedule.
Let me see
and you
that.
go down to the Ravens. Play the Ravens later. So maybe Ravens or Bears. I think the Bears are going to be good.
I mean, that's going to be messy. Yeah, man, starting with the Jets is convenient. Maybe the Seahawks will give them a hard time. We'll see.
Maybe.
That's,
No, because it's like
you're right.
the first.
You're
like
right.
the first bump in the road, you're like, okay, we can get through this. It's fine. Second one, you're like, all right, man, we got to work it out. Third one is like, come on, we got to get on the same page.
Let me tell you what, I can already foresee the narrative. There's a world where the Steelers start like 5-1 or,
Yeah, I can see it.
4-2 or just something where people are like, oh my God, Aaron Rodgers still has it.
Yep.
The Steelers made the coolest move of the offseason, adding what is kind of like a bargain veteran, and he's playing like an MVP, and then they're just going to hit a wall.
Yep.
Maybe.
Yep.
Next up, Saints rookie quarterback Tyler Shuck already sounds like a guy who knows his rookie season with the New Orleans Saints could be a rough one.
And I'm going to come in and compete regardless and try and get better. But I think for me and what I've been through, I've been carted off the field. I've been booed. I've been an MVP.
Yeah.
I've been a starter. I've been a backup to Herbert. I'm like dude, I don't throw some shit at me. Like, you're not going to phase me if we start off like 0-2 or I suck. I'm like, dude, it's going to be fine, So that's why I was so excited about that opportunity or any opportunity. And I think going into it, I got to continue to get to know the guys. We were talking about this earlier. I'm still a rookie. I may be older, but I got to earn the respect of everybody and do my job. So
That's from the newest St. Brown podcast. What did you think of his answer?
He said, look, I'm looking at this roster, and it's not great. I know that our backs are going to be up against the wall. You got a rookie head coach over here. I'm prepared for whatever. So it's good that he's going in with that mind state, because it's not going to be good for the Saints unless you just prove me completely wrong and Shuck looks great and guys are healthy and Kellen Moore has kind of figured this thing out. It's going to be tough. But the good thing about the Saints is that the division ain't going to be that crazy. So you'll be able to compete. But prepare yourself, young man.
I do kind of appreciate a rookie being like, I might suck. I don't know. I'm going to try my best. But I've been in really horrible situations. I know that I can get through it. Maybe that is what I experienced early, but I want to be great. I like the tenor of the conversation. I think there is an opportunity as a later draft pick to be a little more honest versus if the Saints draft you first overall and you're the quarterback, you can't go in going, I don't know what we're going to see this year, guys. You do have to kind of, be a mouthpiece a little bit.
Yep.
The NFL suspended free agent kicker Justin Tucker 10 games for violating the league's personal conduct policy. Justin Tucker is currently under investigation for a slew of sexual misconduct allegations from multiple Baltimore area massage therapists. Do you think he's actually signed by any team? You were just dealt as a free agent a 10-game suspension.
He's done.
You're not playing this year.
He's done.
You're older. You were bad last year.
He's done. He's got to go coach high school football or something. And even that's going to be tough with the allegations against him. Unfortunately, we saw one of the, if not the greatest kicker of all time, have such a quick decline with his reputation and just on the field, too. He wasn't playing that well when Harbaugh let him go. So it's unfortunate, man. I hope you land on your feet.
Let's head to Indy. The Athletics' Jane Boyd says Daniel Jones is Indy's QB1 right now over Anthony Richardson. This is from his article, again, for The Athletic. He said Daniel Jones is QB1, parentheses, for now. The Colts signed the ex-Giants and Vikings quarterback in free agency to challenge Anthony Richardson for that title. He's already taken, Jones, a significant lead in what was supposed to be a wide-open competition. Another thing Richardson is dealing with, obviously, is aggravating that surgically repaired AC joint. So he's not really able to kind of have this back and forth in the competition. But are you surprised at all by that?
No, because he's hurt.
Yeah.
I mean, if he can't go out there and compete, you got to roll with the guy who's been getting the reps with the ones and impressing you. I think there's an avenue or a way for Richardson to win his job back. I think there's more upside right now with Anthony Richardson because he's so young. But Daniel Jones has put together a Pro Bowl season before. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's had some plays or made some plays in this league. Doesn't surprise me at all. What's going to be interesting is preseason. Like, how are you going to split these reps up? Because you got to see what both can do. Mm-hmm. This is going to be a fun one to watch.
In hindsight, the top 5 picks in the 2023 NFL Draft, Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, Will Anderson Jr., Anthony Richardson, Devin Witherspoon. I'm not going to ask you to redraft because the top 2 would probably be the same, with Stroud first overall, Will Anderson Jr. second overall instead of second and third. Who made the bigger misstep? The Panthers taking Bryce Young or the Colts taking Anthony Richardson at 4?
Colts, Anthony Richardson at 4. I mean, Bryce Young at least won a national championship, right? Had over a 65% completion rate. He put together a season. Yes, he had talent around him. Anthony Richardson was the biggest you look good in pajamas type of pick of all time. I hope he figures it out, but there's nothing that he did in college to make you think he was just going to be a prolific passer in this league. No, he's a great athlete. Can he get better? Yes, but I think Bryce Young already in one season? Was it rookie season? End of the year, he looked like a quarterback in this league. With Anthony Richardson, he looks like a really good athlete.
We've been taking a look around the rest of the league, but let's head back to Seattle to talk about the Seahawks with Dave Wyman next.
The most first-half home runs for a catcher in baseball history.
Congratulations, Cal Raleigh.
Big dumper.
American League Player of the Week. A .417 average.
OPS over 1,600. 5 homers, 12 ribbies.
And one hell of a model American.
Now the question of whether or not he's the front runner as AL MVP.
Where you follow along the big dumpers, big run. Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Eric Johnson here. I spent the past 30 years working to help make our community better informed, better protected when it comes to consumer issues, and better equipped to take on whatever life throws at us. That's why I love the free Washington Accident book series from Davis Law Group. These books keep us better informed about the law, better able to protect ourselves on and off the road, and better off when all is said and done after an accident. Chris Davis didn't have to write these books. He did it because he saw a need. People who were in accidents or other legal situations didn't know what to do, what pictures to take, documents to request. Only a tiny fraction of the people who get these free books will ever become clients of Davis Law Group, but that's not the point. Chris wrote them because it was the right thing to do. The free Washington Accident book series is a must-have for drivers who want to be prepared for whatever the road might throw at them. Get yours at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Bump here for the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram. Last month's beach party event was such a success, they had too many trade-ins and now they need to liquidate. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. Shop the Got to Go used car sales event June 27th through July 6th at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram and all other Hazelwood locations. Just off the Auto Center Way exit, Highway 3, Bremerton.
Hazelwood has it.
Go from daydreamer to industry leader with Amazon Business. From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools that help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at AmazonBusiness.com.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Did you know you can get your prescriptions for less at your local pharmacy? You can with GoodRx. It's the free app that can save you money on your medications. Just search for your prescription, choose the pharmacy and the price that works best for you, and then show your GoodRx coupon to your pharmacist at the drop-off counter. GoodRx works at over 70,000 pharmacies, including Walmart, Rite Aid, and Walgreens, and it works whether you have insurance or not. It's easy to save. Next time you drop off your prescription, check GoodRx. To start saving today, go to GoodRx.com. GoodRx is not insurance.
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming, at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
Welcome back to rainy Minneapolis. Gary Hill back with you alongside Rick Riz. As the rain continues to fall here in Minnesota, the tarp on the field, we're still hoping for the best and hoping we get this in at some point. The Mariners and the Twins, the finale of this 4-game series as the Mariners look for a series win. But not much has changed as the rain continues to fall. Let's pause for station identification on the Global Credit Union Mariners radio network.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
So we are in rain delay. The rain is falling. We're hoping for the best, and we'll continue to update you as we continue here from Minnesota. We'll send you back to rain delay programming.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Jane has 150,000 miles on her truck, and she's proud of that. Jane's secret, AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help her find the right parts. Jane's brother Josh only cares that his car starts and goes, but when it doesn't, he also goes to AutoZone, where friendly AutoZoners help with free services. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Progressive knows owning a home can be hard, but not always. Like when you're relaxing on your patio, enjoying a nice, quiet evening. So quiet. Except for the sound of the neighbor's party. which you said you'd go to if you weren't busy. And your quiet night on the patio, that's not exactly busy, is it? Maybe you should just stay inside. At least Progressive's Home Quote Explorer lets you easily compare rates, so shopping for insurance is the easiest part of owning a home. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Comparison rates not available in all states or situations. Prices vary based on how you buy.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners-Twins series finale is officially in a rain delay. Conditions in Minneapolis don't look like they're going to improve, so we will be on air with you here and let you know if the game is ultimately canceled and rescheduled.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Wyman, I was writing down. Oh, Dave Wyman's with us. He's in studio. Hey, Wyman. I was writing down some little questions that I wanted to cover while we had you on here. We figured we'd talk Seahawks, maybe a little bit of Cal Raleigh and the Mariners. And I wrote down best defense in the West, ? Biggest additional need, ? And do you believe in ghosts? Just some notes that I wanted to go over.
My question really is, Matt, do you have any idea what time the game's going to start today?
You are so lucky the FCC would find me for what I want to tell you.
What? Why? What do you want to tell them? You can say it in my ear.
Every word in the book. No,
I just thought I'd start off by annoying Matt, and then, we can go from there.
Mission accomplished.
Okay.
It's so easy to do, really.
It is.
You know?
Especially on a rain delay day. Like, this is the day to annoy me.
Yeah.
Because I'm already at a 10.
Like Doctor Who, why doesn't he go by Dr. Why? That's a more important question sometimes.
That's such a great question, Stacy. They should change the name of like one of the longest running, most beloved sci-fi shows in history just
Wyman,
because of that.
Earlier
I don't
in the
even know
day,
what he's talking about.
I know.
You never do.
Earlier in the day, Bump and I went over an article from ESPN talking about each team's kind of remaining, not just their need, but a move that they want to see them make. And Aaron Schatz of ESPN said that he wants to see the Seahawks add Brandon Scherf. And then he just talked about, I still think the offensive line is a need for this team. If you were to take a temperature check of this team as we are now a couple weeks away from training camp, well, a month away from training camp, what would you say is still an area where you go, I wouldn't mind seeing another name added there?
Yeah, well, now that they got Shaq Griffin in there, I think inside backer is probably the one that I think is maybe a little on the thin side. But, yeah, I mean, they'll probably address that. I mean, they did at corner, and I would have said before Shaq got signed. Wait, do we call his brother Shaq, or is he Shaq? I'm trying to remember which one.
Didn't we figure this out years ago? One was Keem and Shaq and Keem, right?
This is Shaq.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, they made a move there. I mean, in the meantime, Mike McDonald was making it sound like, hey, we're going to have the 3, 4, and 5 battle it out with guys like Nehemiah Pritchett and Job, and so they address that. So maybe they will. Maybe they'll address that inside backer spot. But that's probably the one. I kind of feel like at least they think, and I don't know what fans think, but I think they think they have the right guys to compete at offensive line. So, yeah, I mean, I think probably inside backer for me right now, and I do feel like that's going to be something that, if I were to predict what would be like their next move, it would be add some depth there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, Ernest Jones, obviously. Tyrese Knight, 9 starts. Drake has played 37 snaps. Ross, 0 snaps. O'Connell, 0 snaps. So I'm with you 100% when it comes to that LB depth. Well, what do you make of the Griffin signing? I think he's going to win that job over there. Obviously, he has to compete with Josh Jobe and Nehemiah Pritchett. It's not a move that makes me think, this defense is going to take it to a different level. But I think it was a necessary move just to put a veteran over there.
Yeah, I think so too. And then it just ups the just like what Pete used to always talk about. We're gonna compete, and we're gonna get guys. We're not happy with just the guys we have. We want to make it a competition, and I think Shaq just upped that competition level. So yeah, I mean, I think it's a good move. I think it makes everybody else, like the fans, feel a little bit better. But this is kind of a team that's, and this is why inside backer is kind of more important to me, is that their defense is really kind of inside out. Like when they really turned the corner defensively, all of a sudden the interior guys and Ernest Jones and the safeties just started making plays. And that's just kind of where they focus. And, and I think a lot of teams are trying to attack the middle of the field as far as the pass game goes. And so, you build it from inside out. And, yeah, I mean, I think definitely I like Drake Thomas. I do. I just don't think he has enough experience to go into the season going, okay, that's our backup guy.
Did you happen to hear Cooper Kupp's interview with us? We talked about we talked with him about how defenses in particular, but how the league had evolved in like the last 7 years or so. I was thinking about it the other day. It was just very interesting hearing him talk about everything that he'd seen and how much the league had changed in 7 years. We've talked to you a ton about how the league has changed since you've played, but I wanted to ask you, just while I'm thinking about it, a more similar question to Cooper, which is, during only the time that you were in the league, what was the biggest thing where you were like, wow, this is different? Like, what was the thing that changed just during your playing time? Because we've talked before about like what's different today, but what about just when you were in the league? Like, what evolved? What happened?
His playbook isn't on a stone tablet anymore.
Matt.
A stone tablet.
That was pretty good.
Computers.
Yeah. I mean, it's just gotten so specialized. And then I'll tell you a story. When I went to Denver, this is 1993, they ran just everything was kind of a derivative of cover two, because we had, one of the hardest hitting safeties in Steve Atwater and Dennis Smith. And so what the Raiders would do, and this happened twice. Actually, it happened 3 times. We played them 3 times that year, where they attacked the middle of the field. They knew exactly what our rules were. And what the rules were, for me, if there was anybody going down the seam, I had to carry him. And it was my 7th year. I wasn't playing nickel anymore. So I would say, I had a good year that year, but they just knew exactly who to attack, and it was me. And what they did, and usually it was tight ends that were coming down the middle. Well, what they did was they crossed the tight end and James Jett. So now I am running down the middle of the field with James Jett. And, they knew exactly what they were doing. And, yeah, it was just I think that probably that year is like, okay, where you really realize that offenses were very specialized and they knew exactly who to attack. And it was brilliant by them. But, I mean, it happened like 2 or 3 times. And I'm finally like, and I remember Charlie Waters, our defensive coordinator, it was in Sports Illustrated. It said, they said it, and it was a quote by me that I stole from Charlie, because after the game, that was the game-winning touchdown to James Jett, and he ran, right past me. He goes, I should probably have you guys I should probably have you covering guys named Tank, not Jet. And I'm like, that's good. Yeah. And by the way, why do we continue to run cover 2? Why can't we run cover 3? And I remember people asking me, why you guys run so much cover 3 in Seattle? I'm like, because it works. So I wish they had done that, because I was coming off that 92 season where we had a really good defense and we ran cover 3 and everybody was able to do their job. Kind of remind me of the Legion of Boom days, like the Super Bowl 48. It's like they knew exactly what we were going to run, but they just couldn't stop it. So, but yeah, I mean, I felt like that was one thing that maybe stood out to me that was just something different. It was like, okay, this has gotten so specialized. And I listened to Bump talk about, like, you've coached and everything, and you're talking about all these different, like terminology and things like that. And, it's just so much more complicated than it used to be. It just used to be run and hit on defense. And now all of a sudden, I thought that was kind of the time where it sort of transitioned to they're really attacking and they're really isolating a certain player in a certain defense.
Bullying. became a thing in the league. Bullying. They were like, we're going to do crossing routes.
I was a professional linebacker, so I don't know if I was being bullied.
No.
Yeah,
That's interesting, though. I'd like, wait, so is that like a crossing route? Like,
What?
so was that the first time that you'd started seeing that?
Well, it was just more than anything. It wasn't like it was some revolutionary route.
Right.
It was just more that like they knew that was my job.
Okay.
And they put us in that position, and
Yeah.
they knew it was coming. Now let's fast forward to 2005. Lofa Tatupu, remember the Monday night game against Philadelphia? They're running cover 2, and what they do with the tight end there is they run a Y stick where he just comes down the field, and it's kind of like an option route, and he goes out, and Lofa jumps it, picks off the ball, and then goes and does the Vi Sikahema thing on the padding on the. He scored a touchdown, pick 6. About 2 quarters later, they came back with a stick nod, which means, okay, because he jumped the stick route. And I remember Lofa telling me, this is his rookie year. I've told this story on our show a million times. But he goes, I jumped the stick route, so I knew they were going to come back with the stick nod, which means you go out and then up. And so he, as a rookie, knew that that's what they were doing to attack him. And he knew. He was in the offensive coordinator's head. Like, he knew that they were going to come back with that. So they run the stick nod. He doesn't pick it off, but he tips it, and Michael Boulware intercepts it. And I was just like, wow. I mean, that was something I didn't really realize until like my 6th or 7th year. And I asked Lofa in a very detailed question about that whole thing. And he goes, I knew they were going to come back with that because I jumped the one earlier, and now they're going to take advantage of that. And I'm like, wow, this is where we are in this game. I mean, Lofa Tatupu, a rookie linebacker, was, like I said, inside the offensive coordinator's head. He knew that they were going to come back with that. So, yeah, I mean, it's just gotten really, really specialized.
Speaking of Loaf, man, I've had maybe in the last month, I've sat down and talked football with Loaf like 4 or 5 times. One of the smartest football players you'll ever talk to, man. He sees the game differently. I can't wait for you guys to see what he's going to do next. It ain't my business, so I ain't going to put it out there like that, but he's going to change the game here pretty soon. Yeah.
That's cool.
But so we also were talking about Trey Hendrickson, and Dave, I was like, look, if John will open up his wallet and go get him, I'll be fine with that. But my main thing is just want to make sure this offense is okay. What your thoughts on the possibility of going after Trey Hendrickson?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they got pretty good depth on the defensive line, and I just don't. It doesn't seem like a move that they would make, but I'd love to have him. I feel bad for him. I mean, he's a good player, and he's been consistent. 17.5 sacks 2 years in a row, and it just seems like he's in a bad organization. Cincinnati's always been kind of cheap, Yeah. So just the way they run things, but yeah, I mean, there's probably 15, 20 teams out there that are going, man, why don't we go get Trey Hendrickson? So I don't know if that's in the works or not. I feel like up front they have good depth, but we'll see.
Related, which I'm
So
thinking
I would say my answer would be no.
I'm thinking of now following Bump's question is like, well, is there a piece missing from this defense that would make them elite, or is it just, I think they have the pieces, they just need to develop?
Yeah, I think they have the pieces they need to develop, and then I think, as long as they have, if you do have an injury, at inside backer, let's say Ernest Jones, I mean, it's, that's where you're going to go from that. And maybe Drake Thomas is the answer, or maybe O'Connell, I don't know. But, that one, I think, but for the most part, I feel really good about the defense and just the way that they all get along and the way they communicate and how, the message is that, hey, let's help, our teammates make plays and don't be selfish. And he's very old school that way. Mike McDonald is. And I think that's the message that they're getting there. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing this defense play. And, we talked a lot about like Sam Darnold throwing the interception in practice. These guys are out there going against a pretty good defense. I would say they're definitely ahead. I mean, it hasn't been. I think the Legion of Boom was like the weirdest thing I've ever seen, because 7-on-7 is totally for. And I remember our defensive coordinator Tom Catlin used to say all the time, "This is set up for the offense to win. There's no pass rush. The quarterback can sit back there and pat the ball." And the Legion of Boom, that defense, they were winning. they were winning 7-on-7 sessions. And so, I'm hoping that they get back to that. But that's one thing that really stood out to me when, you used to watch that team practice.
These athletes are different. The game has changed a bit, and now we have second rounders asking for guaranteed contracts. You got the backer from Cleveland, receiver from Houston, and now you have Nick Mwari not holding out, but he ain't signed a contract yet. What do you came from a time where, look, you just played where you got drafted and you didn't ask any questions, and the contract was a contract. I mean, I played in that era too, so it's kind of weird to see these guys kind of demand some things, but I also blame two organizations who kind of started that thing off. What are your thoughts on Nick and Mwari and other second rounders wanting fully guaranteed contracts?
Well, I think, first of all, that that's just what it is, and I've accepted that now. Like I've always said, I was a good player. I wasn't a great player, but I probably would have made like $6 or $7 million a year. What the hell would I have done with that much money? But so no, I've kind of learned to accept that, and that's just what the game is. It's just so much more. So I think every player should get as much as he can. No question, I'm always for the players there. But I think a couple of things. Number one, I think if you get into that kind of a situation, I think John Schneider will handle it better than any other GM. Just because, remember when he had Dwayne Brown came in and it was like a hold-in, he didn't have a contract, but John went to him and said, and Dwayne was really a smart guy, and I didn't think that, that he would go out there without, a contract, and he did. And the reason why is because he had John Schneider's word. So I just think, just in general, not talking about the specifics, the Seahawks do a really good job of, now, we hear guys complain on the way out. There was some complaining from Sherm about Schneider and the way they handle things, but I disagree with that. I think they have done a really good job handling, players and how they pay them. And then when John gives somebody his word, he gives them his word, and it's solid as can be, and the players know that. And even a guy like Dwayne Brown, who was very savvy, and he was always like the union rep and stuff like that. He understood exactly, and he trusted what they were going to do. So whatever works out there, I feel like the Seahawks are always ahead of everybody else in handling those type of situations.
When I step back and think about the offseason, I'm like, wow, there was a starting quarterback traded here in Seattle, and then they signed a brand new one. And maybe I've just become accustomed to talking about Sam Darnold that I haven't thought there's a brand new quarterback here in Seattle. That could be like a massive story. I need to think about all the things that could happen. Very general, open-ended question. What are your thoughts on Sam Darnold?
Yeah, we were having that discussion yesterday on our show, and then what games do you pay attention to? Because we went through his game log. He didn't have a good game against the Jets. They ended up beating the Jets 20-17 or something in Minnesota when Darnold was there. And yeah, I mean it was no touchdowns, one interception, 45% completion percentage. Ooh. So I mean he does have some of those games, but I think if you ask me to predict, I think Darnold, and just the excitement that he had of being with Clint Kubiak when he had that time with him in San Francisco really made an impression on him. And so hopefully he doesn't get into those kinds of situations where he's taken 9 sacks like he did in that Ram game in the playoffs. So I mean I would bet that he's going to have a successful year. But I even if he doesn't, I mean, it still doesn't seem like that big of a deal as far as, financially, the commitment and everything. They could be out after 1 year. So, I would bet on Sam Darnold.
I would too. And because I think that Kubiak's going to take care of him because he knows him. And I'm hoping that there's development on this offensive line. Defensively, when you look at Tyrese Knight, when you watch the film, what part of his game do you feel like is going to take the next step or needs to take the next step?
Yeah, I saw him a couple of times. First of all, I think he's really good at sifting through and finding the ball, which is really important. And Mike McDonald always says he makes lots of tackles. So, but I think more consistent, like, there was a play last year against the Cardinals where it was McBride, and I saw him get the Minnesota Vikings with this same play where he blocks the linebacker, and then he kind of flares out, and they end up converting that for like a first down. It was like 3rd and 25 or something like that. And Tyrese Knight had that same play, that same thing happen, and he held him just enough. Like it was done like a veteran. Like guys on defense, they hold.
Yeah.
I mean, no question. Remember when there were some football players that played in the flag football against the flag football guys? And I remember their biggest complaint, the flag football guys, were, these guys hold. That's all they do is hold. But you can only do it for so long, and good offensive linemen know that too. You're going to hold, but, you need to know and have a sense for when to let the guy go. And Tyrese Knight made that play against McBride. He was holding him, no question, but he let go at the perfect time. And then I think he ended up tipping the pass down. And, and there was nothing but grass beyond him. I mean, it would have been a huge play. So, I mean, I think he learns from things like that, and he starts to make those plays more consistently. I believe that he can be that guy. He just showed a couple of times in different ways. Sometimes it's staying home, when a play goes away, and staying in your gap and things like that, I think he did some things that were really veteran-like that I really appreciated. So I'm looking for him to take that big step. I mean, remember coming back your second year and you're like, oh man. I mean, I felt like my rookie year, I didn't even know how to play the game. And, you get into the next year, and it's lots of other things like settling down. It was the first time I ever had to buy a house and, take care of it and do all that kind of stuff. I mean, you had all these other things going on. And so that second year jump, I think, is always big. And we haven't really talked about that with Tyrese Knight. And just because he was good his rookie year, and I think he's going to take that kind of step where he makes more plays like I was describing.
I only saved you a little bit here. I did want to get to Cal a little bit.
Yeah.
I just think it's awesome what he's doing. I mean, we've been talking about it obviously for a long time, but like we've had whole shows where we've mostly just talked about Cal. It's just really awesome. I'm going to ask you the thing that we're always discussing, which is how much of a case is he making in an AL MVP race, considering what Aaron Judge is doing? Like, what are the biggest factors to you where you go, well, you got to consider this?
Yeah, well, I mean, we've been talking about it here in Seattle, I think, for a long time, and everybody knows what just a great dude Cal is. He's just a very easygoing guy. I remember his mom said when they signed him, she's like, you guys got a good one here. Like, he's a good boy. He's a good boy. But yeah, I mean, I don't think anything's ever going to get in his head. I think he is just, I don't know about the health part of it. That's the one thing I worry about. But he's just such a steady character. And then, I was listening to Shannon on your guys' show on the way in. She was talking about how, all the knowledge, that he is getting being behind the plate and how much that helps him as a hitter. And I just thought, yeah, that's very simply put, and that's exact. I mean, he's seeing one of the best rotations in all of baseball, and so I'm sure he's logging, little notes on how to do some damage when he gets up there.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
Maybe the Mariners and Twins. I don't know. We're still in a rain delay, but we'll let you know. Don't go anywhere.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10.
Julio's whole deal of being simple is I'm going to swing.
The percentage of pitches that he's swinging at by season. Last year, 54.3. This year, 57.1.
Still puts the bat to the ball, but is that what you want to swing at?
His chase percentage is essentially exactly what it's been. So he's not swinging at a lot more bad pitches. He's just swinging at everything.
Brock and Salk, morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
Since time immemorial, the Puyallup tribe of Indians have lived on what is now called Puget Sound. The Puyallup tribe is a sovereign nation of more than 6,000 members and one of the largest employers in Pierce County. Today, the Puyallup Tribe continues to serve its members and community with generosity and is committed to building a sustainable way of life for future generations. Learn more at puyalluptribe-nsn.gov. That's puyalluptribe-nsn.gov.
Roof now, pay later. No payments until 2027. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. Hi, Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Since 1968, we've helped homeowners just like you get beautiful, durable roofs without breaking the bank. Book today and lock in summer pricing before it's too late. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your free estimate. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors, manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. This is the window you want. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and these windows last up to 60 years. They're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And this June, buy 3 windows and get 1 free, plus an additional $200 off your entire project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in the Puget Sound. Call 8-333-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
When it comes to the security of your business, doubts can creep in about who you're trusting to protect it. At Bay Alarm, we got you. For nearly 80 years, we've been putting our customers' minds at ease with our advanced technology and personalized support. Feeling insecure about your current security service? Visit BayAlarm.com today.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Well, welcome back once again to rainy Minnesota. The tarp is on the field. We are in rain delay here. Gary Hill with you alongside Rick Riz, Shannon Drayer here. We're awaiting the Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. M's looking for a series win against Minnesota. We'll have to wait a while longer. The tarp is on the field. It is raining. We'll continue to update you at the top and bottom of every hour as we hope to get underway shortly. We are hoping for the best, but as we're here right now, the rain continues to fall. So we'll continue and send you back to rain delay programming.
I saw her texting, coming up to a stop sign, and so I saw the accident coming, and she T-boned us.
In the blink of an eye, Crystal's life changed when she suffered a severe spinal injury.
The pain was something I had never experienced before in my neck. I got massage therapy. I saw a chiropractor. I was prescribed muscle relaxers so I could sleep. I got depressed. Nothing was relieving the pain.
Drugs, sleepless nights, and depression. Sound familiar? I'm Dr. Mark Shelley, a chiropractic physician and board-certified functional neurologist. At Sound Pain Solutions, our treatments include high-dose laser combined with spinal decompression and other comprehensive therapies to rehabilitate damaged discs. We use treatments that are non-surgical, FDA-cleared, drug and pain-free.
I was able to get off my pain medicines and I was able to sleep through the night. And that was what I was desperate for.
To learn if you're a candidate for our treatment, call us. Sound Pain Solutions, 855-996-0025 or click soundpainsolutions.com.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at Xfinity. You know, change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, we know that change is all around us. Songs are rewritten and remade. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists, well, they come and go. Even our taste in music, as we get older, can change a bit. But no matter how things change in 5 years, there's one thing that will stay the same. And that is the price of your internet. That's right. Xfinity is introducing a 5-year price guarantee. It means you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with their best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Are you surprised? Well, life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at Xfinity.com/deals. Now, restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August of 2024. Go check it all out right online at Xfinity.com/deals.
This is 4 down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down. Why do you agree with the ranking that Pro Football Focus gave the Seahawks linebacker room, which I will say sounds a little controversial?
Does it?
I think just Seahawks fans are going to get angry when they feel like someone's being disrespected. In this case, it would be Jones.
Well, they were ranked 24th. They're talking about the whole room. Like, we're talking
Yes.
about Jones. He was even ranked like 30th or something like that, right? Individually. But as a room, 24th, and it's mainly because you got Ernest Jones, Tyrese Knight coming to a second year with 9 starts. Then after that, you have Drake with 37 snaps, Ross with 0, O'Connell with 0. You're just not very deep in that room. So initially, I was like, well, let me see what their reasoning is. And then you dive deeper. You figure out what's going on. You're saying, all right, I can get with that. So there's 2 ways you can look at it. You can feel disrespected and not live in reality. Or you can look at it and say, yeah, there's no experience over there, but they can use this as motivation and continue to get better. And also with everyone on this defense being healthy to start the season, you got your guys in place. That will allow McDonald to call the type of game that he wants, which will allow these guys to get more reps and more experience, make more plays by the end of the year. Who knows the way this room is looked at? We just had Dave Wyman on, and he mentioned that he wants some more depth in that room. I do as well. So we'll see if they add to that situation. But no, it was 24, fine. Honestly, I could see him at 25, 26, just because of the experience in that room.
Second down. Talk running backs. What's a stat you were surprised to see was low with K9, and what happens if he can improve it?
His yards after contact. Now, overall in 2022, he had 430 yards after contact. That was 14th. In 346. That's 28th, but he only played in 15 games. And last year, he played in 11 games, 310. So that doesn't really tell the story because other guys play 16, 17 games, you're going to have more yards. It's the yards after contact per attempt. So now in 2022, it was 1.9. 23 is 1.6. In 24, it was a 2.0. Now, the best in the league are around 5.6. There's a big gap. It was like D. Henry and someone else at 5 or 6, and then 4, and then everyone drops off to around 3. He's got to get around 3. There's some factors into this, right? You can look at the offensive line and say, well, maybe they didn't help him. They weren't creating the lanes for him. That's why he didn't do his thing. But he also it was up there when it came to yards before contact. So it's a mix. It's O-line not doing his thing. It's him not breaking tackles. But I was surprised. Because when I think of K9, I think of explosive plays. I think of those big old thighs and that big old glute and those shoulders and whatnot. And I automatically think he is breaking tackles. So I want to see that jump up a little bit. Play calling is going to help. Offensive line play is going to help. Him just getting downhill is going to help, but I was surprised there.
Third down. All right, this one's from a listener on the text line. They said, Bump, should NFL practice squads play against each other, other practice squads, and it be broadcasted like an MLB?
For football addicts like myself and like this texter, that sounds amazing. I would watch a game with just the backups playing, practice squad guys playing. The only problem is there's only like 16 guys on the practice squad, so you can't put a full team together. Maybe if you had 2s and 3s with them, you let them go at it, you'll be good to go. But that's called preseason games. So we're just going to have to watch the preseason game. I understand the concept, and you have me there for a minute, but then I thought, I'm not going to see Sam Darnold doing preseason. I'm not going to see Cooper Kupp or JSN. Those games are for the guys who are trying to make the practice squad or just be on the team as a 2 and a 3. Concept is good. I've watched some of those AAA games, obviously, AA games, and futures games and whatnot with baseball and even with basketball, but there's too many moving pieces on a football field to get that done. I like where you're headed, but we call that preseason.
Yeah, where you're headed and where your heart is at. You know what I mean? Because it's like, hey, let's give the practice squad guys some love. Like, these are still former D1, like, these were like scholarship football players.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see what they look like.
See that.
Been some really good players on practice squad. Everyone fell in love with Case and Williams.
Yeah.
So, and there will be someone else that you inevitably fall in love with this preseason. Fourth down. What's something you really enjoyed seeing Mike McDonald do during OTAs and mini camps?
Mike McDonald, 1 year younger than me, has way more football knowledge than I do. But I watched him his first year, and he's always been in control of the situation. This is his team. He's one of the faces of the program. Let's go. But there's something different about him this year. I'm watching him at training camp, and several times he stops practice. Turn the music off. I got to talk to my guys real quick. Let's bring them up. And it wasn't like he was scolding guys, but he was holding them accountable. He's like, look, we have to learn how to practice. This isn't it. You take care of your guys. You go hard, but there's like, I think that's what pros do the best. You learn how to practice because you're only allowed so many practices. You can't have that much contact, but you have to show that you're capable without hurting your teammate. When I was in college, man, guys used to get jacked up in practice. High school, guys getting jacked up because you're little Bambis out there. You can't control your arms and your feet, and right? You're not as developed as these guys. So I saw him a couple of times.
Bambi.
Stop practice, bring guys up, and reset the tone. There have been several times when I've been in high school and college where we start practice from the start. Because the Bambis are out there, not taking it seriously, not going as hard as you know they should. And coach says, you know what, you guys want to mess around? We're going to start this practice all over. I don't think you have to do that in the NFL, but it seemed like he had more control of what was going on. But I say that cautiously because I'm not saying he never had control. But there's something different when you go into your sophomore year. Dave was talking about his second year in the NFL. It starts to slow down for him a little bit. I could imagine Mike McDonald's having some of that same stuff. Things are slowing down. I have a process that I like and that I love. And I have higher expectations for this team because I have guys in place. So it's just watching him take even more control of the situation.
Is it Bambi's like because of the deer with its weak legs? Or like, okay.
Bambi's, yeah, little Bambi's.
I just thought because in Italian, bambino also means baby.
Really?
Boy. Yeah.
That was
so it kind of works too, like a bunch of little babies out here.
Little babies running around, loose necks, crazy arms. It looks different.
Speaking of turning the music down, I think it's just that time of the day. You know what I mean? Where your mind is just wandering and you're thinking of weird things. Do you turn the music down when you try to park?
Sometimes, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Or when you're lost and you're like, I need to focus?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, great. Because earlier you did not have my back when these two
'Cause I don't do that.
in the control room did not agree with me when I said...
Well, tell them what you said.
I said, do you guys ever, if you are driving up a very steep hill, you find your body leaning forward, like you're like pushing your car up the hill, and then you realize like, oh, that doesn't do anything. But don't you kind of automatically do that?
No.
No, I did not.
You just drive up the hill. You let your car just drive up by itself.
Let the horses do what they do.
Okay, first of all, when you're riding horses, and you guys, if you went to horse camp, would know this, you actually are supposed to lean forward a little bit.
I'm talking about horsepower, not actual horses.
Horse camp is a horsepower of one. These cars
You
have
are supposed
hundreds
to
of
lean
horsepower.
forward when horses are walking up steep hills. I just, you know, all of us do dumb things. I'm not alone here. All of us do, even people listening, dumb things that you can't explain. That just happened to be mine. You find yourself leaning forward just a little bit when you're driving up a hill. And I was surprised that you guys have never, ever done that.
Yeah.
You just let your whole body, just the gravity take it backwards.
Correct. That's why you have a seat with the back on it. And just lean.
I just feel like you're not supporting me right now.
Hey, I support you 98% of the time, but you're on your own on this one, you know? It's all
Get
right.
your questions in. 866-979-3776. It's what I need to know. Any questions, sports or non-sports, text it in now.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Talking about the Mariners' plan for the trade deadline.
You think people are reticent to the minor leagues and trade some prospects?
I know fans develop a connection to names they hear over and over. Often you don't see these guys. I don't know how many people are making trips out to Everett or out to Tacoma to watch the young guys, but there just aren't any sure things.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Headed to the ballpark? Skip the traffic jams, parking fees, and the stress of driving. Make riding transit part of your game day ritual. Roll in with your crew, talk stats, and meet fans. No traffic, no stress. Community Transit riders enjoy seamless connections to light rail and ferries to get to Seattle and beyond. And youth 18 and under ride the bus for free. All in for the win. Plan your trip with Community Transit at ctgo.org/homerun.
Breaking news for the people of Boomtown. With Xfinity Mobile, the Wi-Fi is booming, at home and on the go.
And an upgrade storm's on the way.
That's right. And with Xfinity Mobile Premium Unlimited, you can upgrade your phone when you want, up to 2 times a year.
Now, once customers catch wind of the guaranteed new device discount, it'll be the biggest upgrade storm in history.
Wow. Let's hear from our weatherman on the scene.
How's it looking out there, Rick?
Well, Bill, the Wi-Fi is still booming.
Now through September 30th, existing Xfinity Internet customers can get an unlimited line included for a year. Plus, ask how to get a free 5G phone. Learn more at XfinityMobile.com. Restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Unlimited line offer requires Xfinity 300 megabit internet or above. Taxes, fees extra. After promo, regular rates apply. Reduced speeds after use of monthly data included with your data option. Data thresholds vary.
Do you know a woman that gives her all to the sports community, encourages diversity, and empowers those around her? Shannon Drayer here. Seattle Sports is partnering with the Seattle chapter of WISE, which stands for Women in Sports and Events. We want to recognize a woman in our community, and we need your help in finding her. Nominations for the 4th Annual Women of Inspiration Award are open until July 11th. The winner will receive a donation to the cause of their choice. Nominate an inspiring woman at woiseattle.org.
Call or click 811 before you dig. Anything that causes you to roll up your sleeves a little and dig in requires you to first connect with 811. Call or click 811 and visit safeexcavator.com.
Progressive knows when you're on your boat, you're already on vacation. And Vacation You forgets all your worries. Vacation You doesn't even keep track of time and knows that time is a meaningless construct designed to control us, man. But Regular You knows you don't want to be too far out in the water after the sun goes down because Vacation You doesn't know how to navigate in the dark yet. Vacation You and Regular You really need to get on the same page. So bundle your boat with your home or auto policy and earn an automatic discount from Progressive. And spend the savings on the both of you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Whoa, it's you, the Capital One Bank guy.
That's what they call me.
Mind if I get a selfie?
Yeah, sure thing. Say no fees or minimums on your Capital One checking account.
Wow, that's a keeper. So, where are you heading?
I'm off to spread the good news that Capital One helps people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Oh, you're the best Capital One Bank guy.
Hey, mind if I get a selfie?
Sure.
Say, Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
Did you know in Washington State, you can see a physical therapist without a referral from your doctor? That's right. Thanks to Direct Access, you can skip the wait and get the care you need right away. Shannon O'Kelly, how has Direct Access changed the game?
Direct Access for us, Brock, is a game changer. Why? Is because there is so much research and data out there that says if you get in early when you have a musculoskeletal problem or an injury, the earlier you get in and we can start care, the better outcomes and the decreased downstream cost, okay? So it's so important. Our providers are all doctors of physical therapy. They're all trained to identify situations and problems. They've got the skill, they've got the talent, they've got the knowledge. If you get in and start therapy early, we're going to get you back to activity, pain-free, and moving and having fun.
Fast, easy, effective. Direct access is your path to better movement, starting with a single step. Visit irgpt.com to schedule your appointment today. irgpt.com.
Values have to be within your leadership staff, right? And then that filters down into the rest of your staff.
We're together, we are a team, and without that thought process, you're sunk.
I still revert back to, if I work at a location and I'm willing to have my son work at this location, that should tell you a great deal. I didn't steer my son away, I steered my son to it.
They call it the Lee Johnson Auto family, and it's not just a name, it's not just some cliche. They foster an environment for us to become a family.
As much as I'd love to think that they trust me, yeah, our family name is trusted, but it's because of those individual interactions with our people that those folks have had over the years. That's where they build their trust with the relationship.
The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in. Any questions, sports, non-sports, doesn't matter right now. 866-979-3776. What I need to know, says one listener, did Bump have to cancel his tea time today thanks to the Mariners' rain delay?
Yeah, I had to cancel that thing. You know what's even worse? First pitch is at 2:30. So you know what that means? Wyman and Bob, once again, they're off. I'm a hater right now. I love you, Wyman, Bob, but I'm hating.
Yeah, that's okay. These are the radio things that, like, I don't know if a listener thinks about, but we're like, dang it, you're going to have like a rare afternoon off.
Yep.
And it got stolen from us because of the weather, because of that cell out there in Minneapolis. That cell. Let's see, what I need to know. What's the WAR stat everyone seems to point to when it comes to Julio, and can you please explain in football terms?
What's the worst stat?
WAR.
Yeah, that is probably the worst. His WAR is actually pretty good. His WAR isn't bad, actually.
Well, I think he's asking, is there an equivalent to, so wins above replacement, how much better you do than a replacement level player? There is, I don't think you can find the equivalent of that in football. Like, they have stats that they've tried to make like that, but it's just, there are too many positions playing it all the same time.
There are no stats like
pitcher
football.
and
Only home runs are like touchdowns being thrown. Like, that's, baseball is dumb when it comes to that.
Yeah.
This is too much. WRC plus. Oh, expected on base
Why
percentage.
are you making him sound like that?
Oh, I'm like, did he get on or not? All right. What's his average?
Curtis, you look like you were going to chime in.
No, I mean, there really isn't one in football that
No.
exists. I think, what is it? They were trying to make DVOA. I think.
Well,
that's more of a team stat than an
It's
individual
a team stat and a situational stat, but I also think that that's best suited. So maybe think of it as there are just way more individual, reliable and predictive individual stats in baseball. In football, it's more of like, how great does this team do in this situation? And so DVOA probably would be the absolute best way to measure that. I had this person at another one. What I need to know, piggybacking on yesterday's topic, is there an NBA equivalent to the Madden curse? I couldn't think of one.
Nah.
I think I got one.
What
Okay.
is it?
You do not want to win NBA Coach of the Year.
Just get fired.
You're going to get fired
Yeah.
within the next year or two. 2017 through 2023, every Coach of the Year has been fired by that team. Dwayne Casey, Mike Budenholzer, Nick Nurse, Tom Thibodeau, Monty Williams, and Mike Brown. The last two, Mark Daigneault, who just won an NBA title. I don't think he's going anywhere. And then Kenny Atkinson in Cleveland.
What I need to know, in the NFL, if a rookie does not sign his rookie contract, can he go back to college and then re-enter the draft the next season? I don't think you can.
I think he's a free agent for
Yeah.
a year.
Yeah.
And then is draft eligible the next season.
You can trade unsigned rookies, but only up until 30 days before the start of the season.
Correct.
Does anyone actually like honeydew?
I don't.
It's a
I
right
don't.
turn. It's fine. I've never met a single person whose like favorite fruit is honeydew.
No.
It's not even
It's
top
fine.
5.
It's okay.
If it's there, okay, whatever. I'm not going to seek it out. I'll take one if there's a fruit platter, because in my mind it's like a healthier fruit, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't know why that makes sense.
My side fruit or whatever you want to call it is dragon fruit.
Oh, so you have your main fruit where
Yeah.
you're like, what's the main?
Main oranges. I love oranges.
Okay, so oranges are number 1, but then you're like, but listen.
Yeah. That dragon fruit.
Sometimes
though,
dragon fruit's competing.
That dragon fruit. Now it flushes your system out, so be careful. But dragon fruit gets it.
What I need to know, as a receiver, so this one's for you. When you were studying, they said your appointment, maybe it's voice to text, your appointment the night before.
Opponents probably.
Opponent. When you were studying your opponent the night before, would you be more excited if the DBs you were going against were elite and you were going against the best, or more excited for lesser quality opponents and then you're licking your chops about the big day you're about to have?
All right. So it's not even about, you don't even look at if they're good or not, honestly. You look at just the scheme and how they play things. In the NFL, everybody's good. Everyone is good. In the pack, most of those guys were decent. So no, and I was never good enough to where I'm just gonna go out and just dominate somebody. Like I gotta understand what they're trying to do. So they're really just a number. There was really no names on those guys either.
Mm-hmm. This person says PFF grade in football is pretty similar to Warren football.
Maybe. I'm not mad at that.
I just feel like it's very hard. You can clearly see, hey, when Aaron Donald was playing, he's the best defensive lineman. Like you can look and see like this person's impact on a game is massive, but you have 22 complete moving pieces at once, and in baseball you just don't. There are 2. So I love the question. Now it's making me think of like what stat could best tell you how important a player is to his team in football. Genuinely, I don't know the answer off top.
No.
Yeah. 866-979-3776. Who should get more credit for the making of the LOB? Pete Carroll in his coaching or John Schneider in his drafting?
Well, Pete and John were, right hand, left hand. They were both doing that thing. I would say Pete and the coach, man, because you got to get these guys to understand what you need them to do. You still need the personnel at the same time, man. But because Pete was involved in the scouting and the coaching, I'm going to give Pete just a little more.
Actually curious, how does shift scheduling work when there is a threat of rain delays like today? Are emergency plans made the day before when we play on the road in cities without a roof?
Yeah, we look
Check
at the weather.
Yeah.
Yep, you got the weather. Then you say, all right, well, Bump, you better golf somewhere close because you're going to get called in, or we just sit here and beg.
Bump, if you could pick any quarterback from any era to throw to you, who would it be?
Ooh, let's go with Mike Vick. I used to love Mike Vick growing up. Mike Vick. Someone's going to get mad at me for that, though. Someone's going to get mad.
Great quarterback. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. How many records has Judge broken this season?
No clue.
I can't tell if they're asking it with some sass. Like, how many records have you broken?
Yeah.
His first 2 months in particular, he's, quote, cooled off a little bit. His OPS is still like 800. But to start the season, a ton. I can't recall exactly, but it was like historic pace.
I'm going to be watching him like that.
He's on pace to have the best OPS single season since Barry Bonds in 2004. It would not be as high as Bonds. Bonds might have had some help. Maybe. I don't know. We've never confirmed.
A little bit of help.
A little bit. Let's see. 866-979-3776. Going to see Post Malone tonight. Are you Dave Wyman?
Right.
Which song should I be looking forward to the most?
Oh, man. What's my favorite one? It's not a popular one. It's called Money Made Me Do It, but it's from an album he made like 5 years ago.
All right. Well, that's your answer, listeners. So maybe you just pregame, listen to that one on repeat.
Or I Fall Apart. I really like that one.
The crowd's probably going to go most crazy for that one.
Yeah.
All right. Wyman and Bob coming up next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Talking about the Mariners plan for the trade deadline. You think people are reticent to the minor leagues and trade some prospects? I know fans develop a connection to names they hear over and over. Often you don't see these guys. I don't know how many people are making trips out to Everett or out to Tacoma to watch the young guys, but there just aren't any sure things.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
Citizens, since we each upgraded to Xfinity in our homes, the Wi-Fi has been booming. It's fair to say our town has officially become a boomtown.
Mayor, will I be able to drop into multiplayer gaming battles with low lag?
The lag won't be an issue, but your questionable skills may be.
And what if I have hundreds of devices on the Wi-Fi? Purely hypothetical.
Seems like a lot, but sure, hundreds of devices all booming together with the Xfinity Gateway. Yes, friends and neighbors, with Xfinity, the Wi-Fi is booming.
The Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Now get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best-in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed. All in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract. All with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with Xfi Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health. It's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Heading to the ball game? Don't mess with traffic and pricey parking fees. Make it easy and ride the bus. It's affordable and convenient. No stress, no hassle. And plenty of time to grab a hot dog before first pitch. Community Transit makes riding the bus fun, easy, and affordable. You save money on parking, and kids under 18 ride for free. See where they can take you and plan your trip today. Go to Community Transit at ctgo.org/home run.
Hello again, everybody, and welcome back to Target Field here in Minneapolis, where guess what? We're going to play baseball in about 1/2 hour from now. It's going to be the final game of the 4-game series between the Mariners and the Minnesota Twins. Yes, the rain has finally stopped. The grounds crew taking the tarp off the field. We're going to tell you more, but right now let's pause for station identification on the Global Credit Union Mariners Radio Network.
This is Mariners baseball on Seattle Sports.
Take every game with you on the go by downloading the Seattle Sports app.
710 KIRO AM Seattle and KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, the home of the Mariners.
Well, yes, indeed. We're going to play baseball this evening from Target Field here in Minnesota. The grounds crew has done a great job working on the infield right now, throwing some diamond dry across the dirt portion of the infield and the baselines. The fans are slowly making their way down to their seats in the box seats areas here at Target Field. The Mariners and the Twins get ready for the finale of this 4-game series. When we get underway, Emerson Hancock will be on the mound for the Mariners today. He is 3-3 on the year with a 5.43 ERA, and Simeon Woods Richardson will get the start for the Twins. Richardson is 2-4 with a 5.06 ERA. So the rain delay will be about 4.5 hours. We're going to play baseball in about 1/2 hour from now, so stay tuned. It's the Mariners against the Minnesota Twins from Target Field in Minnesota. Stay tuned for Mariners baseball.
Dave Wyman here for Harley Exteriors, a local company serving all of Western Washington for 23 years. Olympic Series windows are offered exclusively by Harley Exteriors, manufactured right here in Washington, specifically designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. This is the window you want. It looks absolutely stunning, much better than a traditional vinyl window, and these windows last up to 60 years. They're going to lower your energy bills and provide year-round comfort. They come with a double lifetime, fully transferable warranty, meaning not only are you covered for glass breaking or damaged seals, it's going to help your resale and home value. Very affordable with options like 0 payments and 0 interest up to 12 months for qualified buyers. And this June, buy 3 windows and get 1 free, plus an additional $200 off your entire project. Think Harley Exteriors for windows, doors, and more in the Puget Sound. Call 8-333-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
It's the Got to Go used car sales event at West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, June 27th through July 6th. Choose from over 350 used vehicles in stock and ready to move. West Hills Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram, part of the Hazelwood Auto Group.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle, KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma, home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners and Twins will get the 4th and final game of this series in at 2:30. We're going to turn you over to the pregame show and get Mariner baseball going. Right now they're in that delay. Other games going on. The Cubs up 3-0 on the Cardinals in the bottom of the 9th in St. Louis. The Dodgers out in front of the Rockies 3-1 in the bottom of the 7th. 5-5 is the score. Giants and Marlins tied bottom of the 4th in that game. Finals from earlier in the day. Tigers hammer the A's 8-0. It was the Jays shutting out the Guardians, which is good for the Mariners in the wild card race. 6-0 the score there. The Astros unfortunately sweep the Phillies. Thanks for nothing, Philadelphia. 2-1 the final there. And the Rays take out the Royals 4-0.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com. Supposed to be Mariner baseball happening, or actually it's supposed to be wrapping up by now. It'd probably be in the postgame show by now.
I don't know, Bob. I can't hear you.
A golden moment before the show started. Lefko was trying to talk to Matt, and Matt just shut him down. I can't hear you. I don't know.
Lefko was trying to talk to Matt when Matt was at his most busy, trying to update people. Today's been a nightmare.
I loved it. It was delightful.
I encourage people to text in to Matt. What time's the game going to start, Matt?
Love that you think I'm reading the text line.
So good.
Yeah, only when you text in for mean texts. That's the only time you're on the text line.
You guys are free to text. We're going to take you to 2:30, and then we'll turn you over to Mariner baseball. So a very short show today. But the Mariners can still win the series. They dropped the game last night, which was a huge bummer. Obviously, you never want to lose, but First of all, the Astros just keep winning, and that gap is getting bigger. But it was just, when you get a performance like you did last night out of Kirby, where he was great. It was a very nice performance out of Kirby. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 3 strikeouts, 1 walk, 90 pitches. And, Thornton comes in for an inning, no hits, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. I mean, it was your starter gives up 1 run. Ultimately, the team as a whole gives up 2. You like to think you've got a good shot of winning that game. And the Mariners offense just got put to sleep. 3 hits last night.